So, Max, that was a great rant. It was straight from the heart. How we feeling today? On today's part of my take, we have our good friend Pete Prisco on the show, talking about the NFL playoffs so far, looking ahead, talking coaching vacancies. We're also going to talk about Monday's games. The Bills beating the Steelers, the Bucs beating the Eagles. Going to get into all of that. We have Hot Seat, Cool Throne, Guys on Chicks, great Wednesday show, and it's brought to you by our friends at Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry about when you're buying tickets to your next big event, because Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. I've used it for football games, baseball games, comedy shows, live music. Game Time has it all. I've gotten the best deals. They've even had one time where someone canceled their tickets. Game Time got me a better seats at the same price. That's what Game Time does. There's last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, and they're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after its start. It's the Game Time deal. They find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section, and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% saving. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price if you find tickets in the same section and row for less. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. That's a great deal. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PMT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed with Game Time. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take. Today is Wednesday, January 17th, and PFT, I don't know about you, but we're done with Super Wildcard Weekend. I feel like we just got to talk about the Cowboys lost more.
Yeah, so that's the good news if you're a fan of any other NFC East teams is all the pressure was off you this postseason.
Yeah.
We're only talking about the Cowboys today. I still think with the benefit of hindsight, another day to think about it, you got to extend both Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I think, listen, you won 13 games, right?
But that was a debacle on Sunday. And again, there was games played Monday, but Sunday's Cowboys loss was the story that everyone's still talking about today.
And the fallout from it.
Yeah.
Especially Jerry Jones didn't go on the radio this week, hasn't said anything inflammatory since the press conference. I think there's a good chance, sometimes stability is your best ability.
Yes.
And in Big D, I think you got to keep the guys in town. Another guy that was in Dallas for a very long time, almost as long as Mike McCarthy, is joining us on the couch today.
He's
Hank
back.
Blackwood is back. Hank, we're just glad you made home safe. I know that there was significant travel issues that delayed your return.
Well, and delayed the taping of this podcast because it's really whatever Hank's schedule.
Hank's delayed coming on the podcast is brought to you by Roman Swipes. Hank, how did things go with the travel? How are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was just a hellacious past 24 hours for me. My flight Monday morning got canceled or moved to Tuesday at 6 a.m. So then I woke up on Tuesday.
They had no flights on Monday.
There's flights to there's two airports in Chicago. I drove my car because I thought I was going to be there for like a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
There was flights to Midway, which was not the airport where my car was.
But that's a really long trip.
It's very far.
Yeah, I mean, it's an extra 2 hours plus. And I was like, okay, my flight's Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. I'll be back at 8. No harm, no foul.
I remember one time I
wanted to watch the games.
I missed a flight. I think it was
What do you mean the games? Dallas was the only game that was played.
No, the Eagles and the Bills.
Oh, those two teams played?
They did.
Oh, shit.
Great games.
One time I missed a flight at O'Hare, and I got into a cab, and I went to Midway.
That's
afterwards.
baller move.
That flight, and I think it was only like $30.
Yeah.
I guess that's
pretty easy.
Cabs were cheaper back then, so yeah, maybe it was 2 hours.
Well, watching Fact or Fiction, watching games is important to this program.
Fact or Fiction. That was it, though, right? Like, should we do hot seat, cool throne? Was there any other games? Max?
That's a recap, yeah.
I thought the Steelers showed some good fight.
Yeah, Max, any other games that we
I think hot seat, cool throne sounds pretty good.
Oh,
Well, no,
okay.
we'll get to Max later because we do go in chronological order.
That's true. So, yes, the Steelers and Bills played. It was vintage Bills and Steelers because it looked like the Bills were going to dominate them, kill them, up 21-0. That Josh Allen run was so awesome where he just, juked everyone out of their shoes, kept on going. And then the Bills' offense just kind of stopped moving for a little bit, and the Steelers crawled back in, and then you look up, and it's a 7-point game in the fourth quarter. I was like, hey, what the fuck is going on here? And it was so perfect because I think we were all sitting there like, I don't think the Steelers are going to win this game, but the Steelers, the way they play every single game, the fact they're in this, yeah, they could win this game.
I didn't think the Steelers were going to win, but I did think that the Bills could lose that game.
Right. Right, because it was just
Like,
they do spurts, and then they're like, all right, we're good for a while.
Yeah, it takes a long time for them to refractorate, or whatever that word is, for them to recover from their offensive scoring. At the start of the game, that game was almost over within the first, 6 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And then there was that one weird fumble that it looked like the Bills recovered.
Yeah, went off
But
Pat Fryermuth's head.
But I don't think it hit his head. I didn't see
didn't.
any angle that hit his head. And then I am sick of the NFL analysts that they bring into the booth, that they just bring them on there to be like, yeah, the refs, here's what they saw on the field, and, you have to kind of defer to what they saw on the field. They just get their old friends to get in the booth and then suck their dicks.
Yeah.
And anyone with two eyes can watch some of these calls and be like, no, they fucked that one up. But at that point, it felt like the game was over, like game, set, match. It was going to be a blowout. But the Bills, yeah, they don't have step on your throat capability.
Yeah, it was very weird. And now also, which is unfortunate for the Bills, they got even more defensive injuries. It feels like their front four is healthy, and then their back end is healthy. Their safeties are healthy, and then everything in the middle is hurt.
Yeah.
And then I think they had 3 more starters go down, which we got 5 days until they play the Chiefs. I would say that's pretty nerve-wracking for the Bills, who their defense has kind of turned around this season, and now they're back to guys who were playing in the preseason.
Yeah, things really turned around for the Bills when the 9/11 story came out.
He's 6-0.
6-0 since Sean McVay had to publicly
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott had to publicly disavow Al Qaeda.
Yes.
If you're keeping stats.
6-0. But yeah, this is now we get what we want. The Bills and the Chiefs yet again. This time in Buffalo. Feels like they've never played in the playoffs in Buffalo. Feels like they've never played in Buffalo, period. And I am very nervous for the Bills defense going up against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. It feels like they're going to have to patchwork something together here. And maybe they just have to just do their offense just has to go nuclear.
I think Bills Mafia needs to show up. This is a legacy game for Bills Mafia.
It is.
It is. And last week against the Steelers, it was fun. Do you see the report that came out early in the day on Monday? It said it was one of the aggregators. I forget which one. We need to get all the aggregators in a room together and see if they're the same person or not. Like the Doves, the JPA footballs,
ML
the ML footballs, the NFL Rookie Watch.
Shout out ML football saying that the Falcons wanted or are going to trade for Justin Fields and give the Bears the 8th overall pick.
Yeah.
I would like to be that drunk at some point in my life.
Yeah, also, I think that they listen to the show and then they just take what we say and then break news from it sometimes.
So I actually heard it was the Commanders giving their 2nd pick for Justin Fields.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's what I heard.
I thought it was a 2nd pick for the 1st overall pick.
No, it was the 2nd pick. The Commanders get the Justin Fields. The Bears now have 1st and 2nd pick.
I don't like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard.
Okay, so he also said, this is just a wild report. Before the game on Monday, Buffalo Bills Stadium is going to be, for the first time in NFL history, any seat available for anyone.
Ooh.
General admission.
I like
because of the snow. So people could go in and then just sit wherever the fuck they wanted during the game.
That wasn't true.
Just completely untrue. Would have been awesome if it was. It actually made me think
Southwest.
It's Southwest, yeah.
Yeah.
Do boarding groups for seating at stadiums.
Well, you can upgrade to A1, A15.
Yeah, that's true.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, you can pay for
Elite.
it.
Jake probably checks.
I've never flown Southwest before, and I was so confused when I got in the flight.
Yeah, that would hurt your brain.
Because I had A9, and so I was like, someone was in the seat, I thought, because I was in 9A. What it was?
Oh, you tried to move someone.
I did not. I
no.
did not. I sat down in F on the other side and texted Tiffany. I was like, is this just a free-for-all in Southwest?
Wait,
Yeah.
you're asking Tiffany Gomez for advice on how to handle yourself on an airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
What's the etiquette
Big
here? in
trust
seating?
level. Yeah.
Well, I was like, yeah, should I boot this person out? She's like, no, it's a free for all.
Should
Like
I freak out?
That's
Yeah.
barbaric. Yeah.
Start screaming. So yeah, the Bills march on. Steelers now are in a weird spot because Mike Tomlin, after the game, was asked about his contract. The reporter barely got the word out. Like, I think the reporter said, "You have 1 year left," and as the reporter said 1 year left, Mike Tomlin just walked off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was thinking about it more because I do rooting for a bad team, seeing Mike Tomlin 17 seasons, over 500 every single year, going to the playoffs pretty consistently. But then when they said that the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016, it kind of clicked on my head. I was like, yeah, maybe Steelers fans are right that it's not that Mike Tomlin's a bad coach. I think he's a really, really good coach, but maybe they need something new.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't even address it like that, if he was planning on sticking around, you probably coach speak your way out of that.
Yeah, you
question.
just do a cliche.
Look, my contract's coming up. Big Cat would ask me if I plan on staying.
You planning on sticking around? Your contract's up soon.
Yes.
Okay, so great.
There you go.
Mike Tomlin could have just been like, yeah, I got 1 year left on my deal. All you have to say is I have one. You can just say the term of your deal. That's a pretty easy way out of it. I got 1 year left on I'm coaching this team for the next year.
I'm currently the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and my contract says I'll be here for another year.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound like he's going to stick around. If I had to guess, just based on that answer.
I would say so too. Also, it felt like Kenny was active in the game last night. Like I think he could have come into the game.
Yeah.
Because there was moments where I was like, Mason Rudolph, this is turning back into a pumpkin. He just can't move. He's kind of a throwback. He's like a 90s quarterback. It's like, yeah, we just need a big guy. We don't need him to move at all. Just throw it.
John Elway sees him. He's like, that boy's a Bronco.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back in time and draft him.
They got a lot of questions, though, with Pittsburgh. They have good players, but in Pittsburgh, you need to start winning playoff games again.
Yeah. So I think Vrabel, obviously, he's the culture fit there.
Be perfect
fit for Pittsburgh. I really don't think that Tomlin's going to come back. But looking ahead, I'm just excited about the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah.
This is good for America.
And they set it up that last game on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous about our Bills' future. I'll be totally honest. Patrick Mahomes scares the fuck out of me in that respect. And yeah, I just feel like the Bills' defense is so many injuries. We'll see the injury report as it comes out later on this week, but they've lost everything in the middle of the field.
Shout out to the AFC for having like the premier brand name quarterbacks that they're going to send to the Super Bowl. We've got Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, CJ Stroud's fun. In the NFC, it's like all the unheralded, all like the upstart guys.
Our guy Jared Goff,
the gritty guys.
Yeah.
You got the superstars in the AFC, and then you got the grinders, your Brock Purdy's in the NFC.
It is funny how because we watch all this football on Super Wildcard Weekend, you just kind of forget that the Niners and Ravens are in the playoffs in the 1 seed.
Yeah. There's a lot of bulletin board material if you're the Ravens. No one talked about us.
No one
one's talking about the Ravens.
I did not talk about them.
I didn't talk about them.
And you also see a team win a playoff game, and you're like, man, this team is hot. They won a playoff game.
Yeah.
What have the Ravens done in these playoffs?
Nothing. No points.
Absolutely nothing. So the other game, Bucs, Eagles. First, let's give a ton of credit to the Bucs. Baker Mayfield. I'm happy for Baker Mayfield.
Me too.
That was an incredible performance. He's been cast aside. They had the story, I think Troy said it, that he was kind of lost, and Sean McVay was like, just be you. Just be Baker Mayfield. He's found his mojo back. If you had said, 2 years ago, like, would Baker Mayfield ever win another playoff game? You probably would say no. He now has as many wins in the playoffs as Dak Prescott. That's a little fun fact.
Really?
Yep. 2.
From the Cowboys.
Yep. Dak Prescott from the Cowboys.
Okay, that's
2.
interesting because he's had how many head coaches in 6 years?
It was like 8.
It was 8.
Yeah.
He started in Hugh Jackson.
Yeah.
And then here's a name I hadn't thought of in a long time, Freddie Kitchens.
Remember
him? Yeah.
Frank Reich, Steve Wilkes. He's gone through it all.
He's bounced around a little bit. It is awesome to see him, and he looked good last night.
He looked really
He was
good.
throwing the fuck out of the football.
The Bucs still have good players. Like I know I've been hard on the Bucs because they're in the NFC South, and when you watch NFC South football, you're like, oh man, this is tough to watch. Like, which team actually wants to win this division? But they still got Mike Evans dropped a couple that would have been that could have been an uglier game. But yeah, the Bucs and their defense played well. And Baker, I'm happy for Baker. That's good for Baker. It's also funny that, we talk about the NFC East all year. There's no NFC East team left. There's a NFC South team, 2 NFC North teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's just poof, like that. Maybe the NFC South was a good division.
Who knows?
They just beat each other up.
Yeah. I think they were sending 5 guys on almost every single play. Like, that's what Todd Bowles does.
Everyone knew it was going to happen.
He blitzes one guy, and you don't know which guy is going to blitz, and confuse the fuck out of Jalen Hurts, confuse the fuck out of the entire offense. The Eagles' offense looked so disjointed. They were doing all these weird tunnel screens, bubble screens. They didn't attack the middle of the field. Jalen Hurts looked very uncomfortable when he was running the ball.
Yeah.
Everything looked way, way, way wrong.
He wasn't even doing his favorite play that much of running right and throwing it out of bounds. He did it a couple times.
They stopped the tush push last night.
Yeah, they got safetied.
When they stopped the tush push, they also tried to rip his helmet off.
That's true.
Maybe that's the key.
I wish that safeties was just the end of the game.
Well,
if you get a safety, the game's over.
Here's an actual take.
Automatic win.
And I'm dead serious about this. Safety should be worth more than 2 points.
Yeah.
Safety should be worth between 3 and 5 points.
Yeah, 4 points.
If you told me
4.
If you told me 3, I'd be fine. 4, fine. 5, fine. Safeties are so hard to do.
And they're so awesome.
They're so awesome. The fact that they're only worth 2 points is just, it doesn't make any sense. It's the biggest win that you can have in terms of like physical football on defense. Yeah, an interception return for a touchdown is great. A safety, it's like, yeah, you manned up on them.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing where you can score and get the ball right back.
That's true.
That's true. You do get the ball
back.
If safeties were worth 5 points, but you didn't get the ball back.
Or you can elect. You can get 7 points. Or no, you can get 5 points, but you don't get the ball back.
I like that.
You get to decide.
At any rate, I think safety should be worth more.
As for the Eagles, Max, you know what? Why don't we play the clip first so people can get a sense of what Max was going through last night? Because
this was during the stream?
This was during the stream, and I want to say this because I know there's some people who are like, oh, Max, turn off his mic. We don't want to hear him. Max is pure Philadelphia in the fact that when the Eagles play poorly, Max thinks that is like his own life. Like people are looking at him as like a pussy. People are being like, the Eagles can't tackle. You're soft to Max.
No, the Eagles are they're an extension.
No, he's
of Max,
not. He's not.
Sure.
They're an extension of Max. But this rant was so perfect because it was all his aggression on how the Eagles were playing summed up. And Frank the Tank was sitting laughing in the background because, as we've said many times, Max does have early onset Fleming. He is a perfect apprentice to Frank Fleming. Max, go ahead and play it. This is after another missed tackle, which gained the Bucs another first down.
Was it cold there?
Where?
No,
in Tampa?
No.
I thought that might have been a thing, but
no.
Maybe for Florida standards, but
no, it was not cold.
football.
I think I'd just correct you. It was another missed tackle.
Another missed tackle.
Yeah.
Push the button.
So this is them missing the tackle.
No one's getting off their blocks.
Nobody will ever make a fucking tackle! Ever! Ever! How many times tonight are they just gonna stand someone up and then get an extra 5 yards? It's every time! How many of you fuckers? How many? You fucking pussies! Every single one of you should be ashamed of yourselves! It's embarrassing!
You're learning well,
That's
my
Frank.
young apprentice.
He's your understudy, Frank.
And then Steven was just, ooh.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, so Max, that was a great rant. It was straight from the heart. How we feeling today?
I'll feel better once I hear about a coaching change.
Oh, you want what? Patricia gone?
Yep.
Okay, so that will make you feel better.
That's one.
Okay,
I want every one of them.
Sean,
gone.
decide.
every single one of them. Big Dom.
Big Dom stays.
Okay, Big Dom.
Big Dom has stayed through multiple coaching generations. He was there when Andy was there.
So, talk us through the game. I mean, that was pathetic. The Eagles were pathetic last night.
Yeah.
Their offense was pathetic. Their defense was pathetic. They were everything that they've seen. And the craziest part is they were in that game until the safety. It was a one-score game. Devontae Smith was the only one who was like, that guy came to play. How you feeling?
I mean, it's just the worst. I mean, there's so many things that went wrong with that game, but it's everything that you've been seeing for the past 5 weeks. everyone in Philly knew it was coming. There was a part of everyone that was like, maybe they'll flip the switch just because that's being a sports fan and always thinking that your team has some sort of chance, even though deep down every single person knew that was going to happen. And it sucks, but it is what it is, and now we need a clean slate. Go towards next year. You still have good players. Get a real coach, not some guy who's just doing stinking. Too much cursing last night.
Oh, your mom texted you.
No. Yep.
Stinking.
It's just like Philly Mad Libs out there. Like, we just have to have someone who's a football guy who can coach football men. Like Pete Prisco is going to tell us.
Yeah.
He kept talking about leaders of men. We need a leader of men on this team, and
not a best buddy who does the cliche and says Rocky and then yells. Remember the game that who'd they beat? The Chiefs.
Chiefs.
To go 10-1, and he said, "See ya." And then they went 2-6.
Did you see that somebody at the game poured a full bucket of popcorn on Nick?
Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
Oh,
that's fucked up.
What?
Yeah, no, I agree with.
It's popcorn.
Nah, but that's.
Oh, we found a line.
I think we need to get.
You know you love that. You just can't say that.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Max is like, I wish it was a full beer.
Yeah, I wish it was more popcorn. He buried him alive.
To be fair, that guy was me last night, and last night I probably would have liked it. But now looking at it, it's like that. Like, I saw the video, and it's like this guy sucks. But come on, there's a respect factor, I guess.
All right, so Max, you want everyone gone. Nick Sirianni went to the Super Bowl last year.
This is also the worst collapse in like the history of sports.
It really is, actually. When you think about it, we were throwing out teams and like what you were saying. Shut up to Hank.
Yes.
Teams that have collapsed, and there's been a lot of collapses. But when you add in the fact that the Eagles were very good last year and went to the Super Bowl. And then the 10-1.
It was a coin flip Super Bowl game.
It was a coin flip Super Bowl. The turf. You keep crying about the turf.
A couple of plays go a different way. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Right.
True.
But you would keep a coach around because he has to make your team better moving forward. You don't keep a guy around because, like, hey, thanks for that Super Bowl appearance.
Right.
And right now, everything says the way that the locker room looked at the end of the year, players not picking up phone calls from their quarterbacks, you feel like maybe this is not something that he can repair.
In what way could you go into next year with a positive outlook if he is still the coach of that team?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to get rid of what happened this year if he's still there next year.
Right. So they started 10-1, and their final point differential was -13.
Whoa.
On the season.
That's bad.
Pretty bad.
The gauntlet. I told you about the gauntlet.
Yeah. I mean, no, but the 10-1 was halfway through the gauntlet.
But not all the way through.
But like, you keep saying the gauntlet, like if it was at the beginning of the gauntlet, it would make so much more sense.
No, the gauntlet took it out of them.
No, but
that's what a gauntlet does.
No, but you would have said up until the gauntlet, and then they played all the good teams. They beat more than half of the teams in the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
So your offense, like your defense stunk. Your defense looked like, I mean, you heard the rant where you were screaming at them.
Yeah.
Which I think you're
Soft.
probably right.
No, they were soft. They were soft.
But their offense was so bad last night. On 3rd and 4th down, there were 11 plays. They had 11 3rd and 4th downs. They averaged 9.2 yards to go.
It's the play calling is so bad. There was one play that was to the middle of the field, and it was the Devontae Smith 60-yard catch.
Yeah.
Like, every single one is a bubble screen or Devontae Smith go route, hope he can come down with it. That's been the playbook for the entire year. AJ Brown, try and come down with it, or bubble screen. Nothing is easy through the middle of the field. And I don't understand how you're an NFL head coach, you get paid millions of dollars, and you don't make an adjustment one fucking time.
One stinking time.
From week 1 to wild card weekend. How do you not make an adjustment? It was so bad. How can you go into this game being like, we're just going to do it again?
So,
and I told myself I wasn't going to get mad.
No, it's okay. Let it out. So, Nick Sirianni's a problem. You also, Jason Kelce is retiring. Hall of Fame career, incredible career.
Yeah,
that's sad. Some older pieces on your roster you got to make a decision about. What about the other thing, the elephant in the room? That someone.
Oh, because he played for Alabama.
What? Oh,
huh?
He did play. No, I'm not talking about Devontae Smith. He's pretty skinny.
True.
He's good. What about the other thing?
What?
Because he didn't.
You want me to? You
He
want?
didn't play that well this year.
You want me to? You're. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not going to do it. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me what I'm talking about?
How could I know what you're thinking?
Because you know exactly what I'm thinking.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You could be talking about anything.
Who do you? What,
We said
take
elephant
one
in the
guess.
room. That was a little clue.
Yeah. Elephant /
Devontae Smith. He went to
No,
Alabama.
Yeah, sooner. No, think sooner than that.
I get it.
I know. I'm trying to think of.
No, he knows 100% what I'm talking about. Is that an issue?
We don't want to get to the second round of questioning on this.
Is Jalen Hurts? I don't think Jalen Hurts is an issue, but is he an issue? He did not look as good this year.
You guys said it all year. He didn't look himself. I think he was battling. I think the knee was a serious thing that was lingering him all
Who could have
year.
ever told you that, Max?
Wow.
Yeah,
Almost
well-
like two guys were sitting here every single week this year being like, the knee doesn't look
No,
good.
I agree. I think he's a tough guy. He battled it out this year. I think that he was not 100%. I think there are things that are going to come out about his medicals after the year. I still think he threw the ball, like, for the most part, pretty well this year. I just don't think that he was put in a situation for him to succeed.
Led the league in least easy passes. That was Max's
I didn't know
stat last
that is
night.
a stat, and I was trying to find it again. Someone sent me this graph of like the most difficult passes thrown in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of those
A graph.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like
you're doing a square graph.
it was some sort of graph.
Okay.
Where, like there's like the line.
A line
Grabbing
graph.
graph.
A line
No,
graph.
but it's like it's like a diagonal line.
Okay.
And it's like that's the base, and you want to be above the.
Oh,
whatever
like
it's
got
called.
it. Like the four
Yeah.
quadrants. Yeah.
It's like who has just like the easiest amount of like checkdowns, blah 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 passes, and like who throws the most difficult ball. Like it was projected completion percentage.
This is a great segment. Max explains a graph.
And it said that like he was throwing the most difficult balls in the league this
But that
year.
doesn't mean he has the least
And he
amount
had
of
the-
easy.
No, it did.
Oh, okay.
It did. If I had the graph,
By his average easiness of balls thrown was harder
but he was
than most other
He was
Yeah.
completing the most difficult passes in the league and not throwing the easiest passes.
Got it.
Like,
So, but that would that be? Is that his fault? Is that the offense's fault?
Maybe you should throw easier balls.
Yeah, maybe you should
Maybe
throw
you
some
should
easier
change the
passes.
shirts and be Jalen Hurts throwing club to Jalen Hurts passing club.
Mm-hmm. Check down club.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a good shirt in the Barstool store. I don't know why you're saying anything
Sounds
about
like
that.
he's more of a thrower than a passer.
Well, what?
And he's getting paid a lot of money now.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is still a good quarterback.
Okay.
He,
All right.
like,
I agree.
I-
I agree. I don't know why we're even talking about it.
Will you? We're all trying to find the guy who did this.
I mean, Max, you over the course of the season have said many times like don't pay quarterback.
I think that's more of like a NFL thing that like you're starting to see that around the league. Like, the
Is
Eagles
anyone in
it's
this
not
room
even-
with us right now? Have they paid a quarterback? You were talking specifically about
Are the
Jalen
Eagles
Hurts.
in the NFL?
Yes. Well, they might get relegated after last night.
I don't regret. I think that's just the way of the league now. Is like a quarterback gets good, you have to pay them, and then it hurts your team. We talk about this all the time. Of like your window.
Well, no.
The majority
no,
of your window
no,
is
no,
going to be
no,
when your quarterback
no.
is on its first contract.
No,
What about if you just have a really good quarterback and
Yeah.
it takes less money to help your
Yes,
team?
Tom Brady. I get it.
Oh,
But you can pay a quarterback a lot of money. They just have to be special.
But every quarterback is going to get that deal.
You got to know that they're special before you pay them that money.
Like, I still think Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback. Every quarterback needs a coach that is going to put them in a situation to win. And that was
coaching.
not. Yes.
Yeah, we're good.
I actually agree with you.
I do too.
I think
I do too. Jalen Hurts is very
still
good.
like a very, very top 10 quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
And
He's very good.
I would say I will 1,000% say that I think he's top 10. I think he was borderline top 5 going into this year. I think he's probably between 5 and 10.
Yeah. There was an interesting video that came out. I think Mostly Sports, one of our shows here at Barstool with Mark Titus and TJ, tweeted this video out. It was before the
Ebo's on that show too.
Oh yeah, and Ebo
And Connor Griffin.
and Connor Griffin, yeah, and Connor Griffin's mom. So when they showed this video of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni at the Super Bowl, and Nick looking across the field and flipping somebody off, and Jalen like grabbing his hand and pulling it down, be like, "What are you doing, man?" and that's the second that the Eagles fell apart.
I think that was a Seahawks game, wasn't it?
Was that the Seahawks game?
He was
don't
yelling
even
at
know
Pete
this
Carroll
about
in the
this.
Seahawks game.
I thought for some reason it was at the Super Bowl.
No,
Well, that you could also say that was the moment it fell
yeah,
apart,
but
too.
he did have a back and forth with Pete Carroll this year that was like him being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, but in that video in particular, you can definitely see a look on Jalen's face like I'm the leader of this team.
Yeah.
Nick
I'm
is
sick of this
Nick is a
dude.
clown.
Yeah,
That was the Nick's a clown moment.
I mean, Prisco's gonna. I didn't chime in when he was talking about it, but he's gonna talk about your head coach to be leaders of men. I don't know how you look at Nick Sirianni and be like, I think this guy is going to motivate a team like through adversity.
I'd agree. All right. So couple other questions because
It was a Super Bowl.
It was a Super Bowl. He had another one where he went after Pete Carroll. That was like, "What are you doing, dude?"
Yeah, I think in this one they showed a shot of Mahomes, right? And then they showed a shot. People thought he was flipping off Mahomes. I don't think that he was. He was flipping off somebody on the Chiefs. And yeah, Jalen Hurts was just like, "Dude, what the fuck are you?"
Why are you doing this? One other question, and we'll get back to coaching. Did Quez Watkins not bring his phone last night? What happened?
Quez Watkins is not a good wide receiver. Like, he's just not good.
But he wasn't ready for the call.
No, he was not ready for
He
the
was
call.
not ready for the call.
No one was ready for the call except for Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith was fantastic.
Devontae Smith, very good.
He's awesome. All right, so Nick Sirianni, if they don't fire him, how angry will you be?
So angry.
Furious.
I just won't care about anything going into next year if he's still the head coach.
You said that you would.
I'll have
you
zero
said that you would
expectations.
stop watching Eagles games if Nick Sirianni was. The
I
coach
have to
next
watch
year.
Eagles games.
You
for my
said
job.
you'd stop.
If I didn't, if you guys will allow me to stop watching Eagles games, I will stop watching Eagles.
I think if Nick Sirianni is the coach, you have to stop watching them, but you can listen to them.
You get
No.
to close your eyes every time they show Nick Sirianni.
No, because the only reason of not watching it, that I would do. The only reason of not watching it is because I know what's going to happen, and I don't want to be emotionally invested into that team.
I mean, how great would that content be though if Max was in the gambling cave with us, just with the Steve Bartman earphones on, just screaming because the Eagles fucked up again.
Yeah,
I do love Merrill.
they do have to get. You do have to get rid of him though because he's
they're going to get rid of
It's a
him.
disaster. It's a collapse of epic proportion. He looks like a clown. Now the question is, who do you want?
There's one guy I want for all of the right reasons.
Mm-hmm. And one bad boy that you want for all the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Tell me about the bad boy. He sounds more fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it would just be so like it would be so good if Bill Belichick
Yeah, it
brought this
would.
team to the
Yes, it would.
It would
be awesome.
It'd be an
the
unbelievable
best
story.
story of all time. Hank would be like there was parts of me last night when I was getting really, really angry, like laying in bed at night, and I was like, but think about Hank, like if Bill Belichick comes
That's
to
what
the
you do in bed at
Eagles.
night?
Yeah.
What are
Oh
you doing in
yeah.
bed at
Oh
night?
yeah.
Hank,
Oh
were
yeah.
you thinking about Max this
I
weekend?
was not. I was not.
Okay, so and then who else do you want?
I'll take Harbaugh if he's available.
Okay.
For sure.
Which one?
Oh, good question.
Both.
I don't know. I could
Jay.
I could be convinced there's a plethora
Jack.
of men out
Mike
there.
McCarthy?
No, not Mike McCarthy.
You want a plethora of men.
There's
Ron Rivera?
There's no, not Ron Rivera. I'd maybe take Ron Rivera as DC.
No, you wouldn't.
Why
No.
not?
Okay, yeah, no, you should, yes.
Whatever.
Yeah, congrats, you have him.
Josh McDaniel?
Sure, I would take him as an OC.
Maybe Matt Patricia.
I could get excited for so many people out there as long as it's not Nick
Nick
Sirianni.
Sirianni. Yeah.
There are so many good coaches that are
Yes.
available right now. Like
So-
the fan fiction that we're all writing in our heads.
And the
is
Eagles still
incredible.
have a good roster and like a desirable place to go for a coach. So I think that we should be in a good situation to get somebody
You're running
good.
out a guy after 3 years. He went to the playoffs every single year. Went to the Super Bowl.
I like that framing of it. You're running him out of town.
Yeah, Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, got ran out of town.
But I don't know.
Andy Reid got run out of town.
I
Nick
mean, Andy
Foles
Reid was
won a
there
Super Bowl,
for-
got run out of town.
Yeah.
Andy Reid was
Literally
there for 10
poured
years.
popcorn on a coach
Chip
last
Kelly, great coach, run out of town.
Chip Kelly was a really good coach.
Rich Kotite ran him out of town.
Ran his ass out of town.
Buddy Ryan, what'd they do to Buddy? Ran him out of town.
Yeah.
You know what
ran
would be
him out of
great
town.
though, outside of Bill Belichick being
Jason
Eagles head
Kelce.
coach, is
Ran him out of town.
the Cowboys hiring Nick Sirianni. I would love to see him just have to
Oh.
flip right away.
Oh my God, I would love
with
that.
a 10-gallon hat and just be like, I've always loved Dallas.
He brings a gun with him to the press conference.
Fuck Philadelphia. That Rocky, he's a short Italian guy. He sucks. That would be great to see him have to twist his brain for that. The Bill Belichick, though, has been interviewed by the Falcons,
Correct.
which would be a very funny interview to watch. Just them being like, so,
How'd you do it?
like, tell us a time.
Did you feel bad at it?
Tell us a time that you faced adversity in your job.
Yeah.
Like, well, there was this one Super Bowl.
So we talked about the interview possibility with Belichick on Sunday night show, where it's like, what do you even talk in an interview with this coach about? Regardless, if it's the Falcons, that's
right.
That's crazy. But if it's anybody else,
Whitney said Belichick should interview them.
Yeah, so
correct.
So what they're doing, the Falcons flew up, picked him up, and then flew him down, I believe, to Antigua.
Love it.
And interviewed him on Arthur Blank's yacht. So if you want to interview Bill Belichick, you have to take him on a vacation with you and then fly him back.
He's no different than a recruit coming to town. You gotta make sure that you got everything set up.
NIL deals,
Yeah.
everything. Have him meet with the boosters.
He got game.
So we talked about.
Ray Allen gets into that dorm room.
I'm all over Arthur Blank's jet. We reported that he was going to be interviewed by the Falcons before it broke. I'm telling you right now, next up, hasn't been reported yet, Harbaugh will be interviewed by the Falcons.
Ooh, I like it.
The plane, I believe, just picked him up and is flying back to Atlanta with him right now for the interview.
Love that.
No Antigua?
Actually, no, it's
Harbaugh doesn't want to go in.
It looks close to, it's in the air right now, so it's approaching Atlanta. I don't know, they might just keep going and go south. That'd be, if I was Harbaugh and I found out that Belichick got the Antigua interview, I'd be like, well, you clearly don't want me.
Yeah. Although Harbaugh probably is like, I don't want this frills. Just get me in a room.
Yeah. Yeah,
no windows.
Harbaugh's not a beach vacation guy.
No windows. He wants to be just in a room, talk some football. I think Harbaugh's going to end up going to the Chargers. And then, Bill Belichick to the Eagles would be great for this show. Bill Belichick to the Cowboys would be great for this show.
Belichick to the Commanders would be great for the show, but I only want him to fuck with Hank.
I also want Hank to talk about if that were to happen.
What do you mean? He would become a diehard Cowboys fan?
No, Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that, Hank. Good point, Max. You hate the city of Philadelphia so much.
Yeah, honestly, it would be tough. I want to say I'd be a fan. I don't know if that would be true. Max would be so annoying. The scumbags of Philadelphia would be so annoying. I don't want to say this, but there's like best case scenario might be he wins like 3 games, goes on a losing streak, and they run him out of town. He can't break the record for the Eagles. That just can't.
Oh man, the record that would
anyone
be
else
brutal.
Anyone else.
So you would agree at that point that it's Brady, not Belichick?
Yeah,
it's
to.
Philadelphia.
No,
it's Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia.
No, you would have to.
No.
You think
Because
Philadelphia can bring any man down?
We asked
Yes,
you. We
they've
asked you
proven
this.
it time and time again.
They have run a lot of people out of town.
They ran that kid. I already forgot his name.
They ran Hitchbot out of town.
Hitchbot. They kicked the shit out of Hitchbot.
Ran that asshole right out.
That rocked.
Hit the bricks. Hit the bricks, Cyberboy.
I would love to see it. By the way, we just who sent that? Jake might have sent that. In a team meeting today, Mike Tomlin told Steelers players the speculation about him stepping away is unfounded, and he plans on coaching the team in 2024. Sources say Tomlin, who is entering the final year of his contract, is expected to address the media later this week. Could have been easier done just by taking that question and not walking off.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But now you have to think maybe Vrabel.
Maybe Vrabel would be great in Philadelphia.
I would take Vrabel for sure.
Leader of men.
Leader of men.
Leader of men.
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 What else is it? You got some old guys on your roster, Max.
For sure.
You
We
got
have
a lot
some
of
young guys
holes.
on the
You
roster.
got a lot of holes.
You have some
I
young
also
guys
was
on
thinking
the
about it
roster.
more. I think the strategy for the Eagles to draft a bunch of Georgia players is smart, but then when you give them to Nick Sirianni, they're all like, who the fuck is this guy? They went from Kirby Smart to Nick Sirianni. That's where it falls apart.
Yeah. You think that's why Sirianni wears the visor, just to remind them?
Yeah.
Like a little continuity in their life. Hey, I'm
It
kind of
doesn't work.
like Kirby.
It looks like a Halloween costume. He's Kirby Smart for Halloween.
Yeah.
So what else we got? Anything else we're excited for the upcoming divisional round. I'm done doubting the Bucs. I don't know. I think the Lions will win, but fuck.
I'm a huge Lions guy this week.
Bills Lions is what I'm rooting for.
Yeah, Bills Lions
Yeah,
Super
Bills
Bowl.
Lions would be
That
so
would be,
sick.
that would be so tough for us.
Yeah, well, you would prove Grit Week right after all the complainers.
Very true, yeah.
It was like, yeah, we had the Super Bowl before everyone else.
Yeah. Bills Lions, that'd be awesome for America.
Yeah, but the Bucs, Baker Mayfield's just a dog. He's a true dog.
That's an all-time run out of town guy too
Yeah,
in Cleveland.
yeah. They
Never
Cleveland's now watching him. Yeah.
Never knew how good you had it.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's do Hot Seat Cool Throne then, and then we'll get to Pete Prisco, talk a little more ball. Hot Seat Cool Throne is brought to you by our friends at Chevy. Chevy Silverado has commanding and unstoppable grit, legendary capability and dependability too. We've all spent time, seat time as they call in the biz, behind the wheel of a Silverado, and we're not just truck guys, we're Chevy truck guys. You know about the ZR2 family of trucks, lifted and ready for anything right from the factory. Now Silverado is taking it all to the next level with even more Silverado truck tech, like available Super Cruise. Only Super Cruise lets you drive hands-free and tow hands-free on more than 400,000 miles of compatible roads. With over 138 million miles of hands-free driving by customers, Super Cruise will help you get your adventure energized, and it'll help drive you home. Go to Chevy.com right now where you can check out the Silverado, build your own Silverado online, and learn important details about Super Cruise. Go right now, Chevy.com. Get those beautiful Silverado trucks. They're incredible. Best trucks ever. Thank you to Chevy, our wonderful sponsor. Hank, Hot Seat Cool Throne.
My hot seat is myself.
Oh, why?
Oh, okay.
I delayed the taping of the show.
Yes.
Feel terrible about that.
No, you don't.
I do.
You don't at all.
I really do.
No,
I
you
feel really
don't.
bad.
You
Not
wanted to be back here.
good. I did.
So bad you didn't get another flight.
I did get another flight. Yes, I did.
I thought it was the same flight that got delayed.
No, that
I'm
flight
confused.
this morning got canceled. That got delayed again till tomorrow, so I had to get another flight for today.
Oh, but you couldn't have done that yesterday.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
show you the screenshot. Everything.
You took screenshots.
Jake was trying to track my flight and snitch on me. He can confirm.
That's not true.
Jake was.
I was just.
I'm hearing rumors,
curious.
Jake. I'm hearing rumors.
Well,
Jake,
the rumors are
curious.
false.
It's disgusting how you're invading another man's privacy by tracking his plane.
I just like tracking planes the same way you do.
Yeah.
Why do you guys just hop on my interests and shut them down?
Jake, that was.
Well, I heard.
Jake, I was very clearly making a joke about myself.
And I just heard that Jake was Jake was on you.
Jake, were you looking at his flight?
Yeah, he was mentioning Southwest. I had an interesting Southwest experience last week, so I just wanted to see.
I like that actually. Jake, I'm gonna actually go reverse of everyone here. Every time Hank flies, I want you to track it. And I want you to give me updates on what's going on with his flights. I don't care if it's vacation, whatever.
Okay.
I want to know everything about Hank's flights.
He's just got to give me the info.
Yeah, we'll get it. Don't you worry.
But yeah, I feel like I've been on the hot seat the past couple days. Everyone's tweeting at me, New York Post writing articles questioning whether or not Tiffany and I are dating. So I would like to set the record straight that we're not.
Oh,
You're not dating.
No.
Yeah, we watched the Cowboys. That was kind of the one thing that really bonded us together the most was our mutual love for the Cowboys. We did spend a really nice weekend together. She has a lovely house, great dogs. We had a good time on Saturday, but after the Cowboys lost, I was kind of ranting about how we got to get rid of Dak Prescott. He is the worst quarterback of all time. He can't throw the ball, has the yips, whatever you want to say. Plays good in the regular season, doesn't show up in the playoffs. That's going to get you nowhere. And that they should bring in Belichick, get the defense going, change the culture, and she is more of a really big Dak Prescott fan. Wants to get an offensive-minded coach in there to change things, and the difference in ideology just kind of
Like when a couple breaks
we
up,
were just kind
they
of
haven't-
bickering, and it was one of those things where we kind of just said let's just call a spade and go our separate
that's
ways.
Brutal. It's like when a couple breaks up because they can't decide if they want to have kids or not.
Yeah, like we're still friends. But yeah, I just think romantically it's not going to happen.
So are you going to see her anytime ever again?
You never know. You never know what the future holds, Big Cat. None of us could be here tomorrow. That.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're going to go that route.
Good point.
But you just don't know what's going to happen.
If you had one day left on Earth, would you call her?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Say bye or to say, hey, let's hang out.
You up?
We would just to chat.
Oh, okay. Just chat.
Was that the Kyle Shanahan? Like anybody could die tomorrow. So
Yeah.
why are you asking me this question about Jimmy Garoppolo?
That's exactly how I feel.
I mean, if you could die tomorrow, I mean, I feel like you want to live life to the fullest.
If I died tomorrow, I
be
would
with
be
the
the
ones you
happiest man in
love.
the world. Yeah, I had a great life.
Yeah.
You'd be the happiest man in the world if you died tomorrow.
Oh wow, what happened this weekend?
No, just everything. I have a great job, great friends, great family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are luckiest man in the
But you
world.
guys had a good time, got along well.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Did you get lucky,
No,
or were you
no.
born lucky?
I was born lucky. I was
Okay,
born lucky.
Okay.
But yeah, she was, I damaged her house, and she was fine with that. Thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
And she was nice enough. I mean, she was nice enough to let me. Obviously, like, it wasn't ideal where I was like, "Hey, I missed my flight. Like, I have to stay." And she was like, "That's great."
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun.
Are you walking any different after that slip and fall?
Yeah, my leg is hurt. I've been limping.
So you're
around.
walking differently after
Yeah.
the weekend.
Is she also walking differently?
No, I think she's walking the same.
Okay, she's walking the same.
Good.
But you are walking with a limp.
Yeah.
Can I see the knee? Is there a
See the
mark
knee.
on there?
Is there? If there's no mark, you're
Show
the
me
biggest
those
pussy
legs.
alive. Oh no,
That's
there's a
pretty rare.
mark.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
really
all
rare.
right, all right.
Did you know that
All-time video?
Did you know you were being taped when you hit the wall?
I didn't know I was being taped. I also didn't know that if I hurt the wall or not.
You hurt the wall.
Yeah, I hurt the wall.
I mean,
bad.
one of the
fucked
best
that wall
videos, like it's early in the year, but it's definitely in the running for best video of 2024.
I did offer to fix it. I was like, I probably can't fix it the way you're supposed to fix it, but let's say this was like we were trying to get a security deposit back. Like, I could make it look like the hole's not there.
Yeah.
She said she's gonna try and
Get rid of this hole, no problem.
She's gonna try and frame it. So that's
That would be nice. Okay, and your cool throne?
my cool throne's Billy Mitchell.
Ah, that was mine.
What happened with him?
He got all
Back.
of his records reinstated. He's back.
The king is back.
They keep switching back and forth on this thing.
Yeah, no, the king is back though.
Wait, is it that guy Walter that's in his pocket that switched it back?
I don't know.
No,
but
Twin
he's-
Galaxies.
Yeah, that's
Twin-
Walter from
yeah,
Twin Galaxies, right?
He's back though. He's all the way back. So it feels good to have Billy Mitchell get the respect he deserves.
He got a doctor to clear him.
Really?
from
The
what?
statement, the Twin Galaxy statement said, in fair consideration of the expert opinion provided by Dr. Zaida on behalf of Mr. Mitchell and consistent with Twin Galaxy's dedication to the meticulous documentation and preservation of video game lore history, Twin Galaxy shall herefore reinstate all of Mr. Mitchell's scores as part of the official historical database of Twin Galaxy's website.
Love it.
Wow.
Good for Billy.
So the doctor.
All-time heel.
I
Got a
wonder
doctor.
I wonder what the doctor is in.
You're like, doctor of what?
He did it. He did it. Okay. Good job. Good job, Hank.
Thanks.
PFT, your hot seat cool throne.
I'm just gonna put wintertime on the hot seat because we've been baptized into Chicago winter.
Yeah.
For the past like 3 days.
Yeah, I'm worried about my pipes.
You weren't here. Yeah.
Oh,
but you cleaned
no,
them out
why?
this weekend, right? They're all cleaned
Yeah.
out.
I have
gotta go
not
get
been
them
home.
tested?
I have not been home. I don't know if they exploded or not.
Oh, you
You
don't know
live
if your
in a
pipe.
condo building.
How do you not know if your pipes explode?
You don't live in a.
I haven't been home. I'm just worried. It's just one of the. I see the videos of the lake looking like a hot spring. I'm like, God damn, it looks cold.
But you live in a condo.
I left. I did the drip thing, but like, I don't know. It's just, it's leaving running water going in your house intentionally and then leaving for 2 days. That turns into 4 days.
Again, you live in a
I
condo
don't think if
building.
you live in a condo, you have to do the drip.
They
You're-
told me to.
all the pipe. It's not a freestanding like solo house. Like everyone else is using their water.
Okay.
Yeah.
think
I feel
you'll
like
be
you would
okay.
have gotten an email by now from your building.
Well, they
if
might
something
have.
was
They
wrong.
don't know. They might not. They haven't been inside. No one's been inside.
Yeah.
I think it's probably more likely that your house got flooded than it got frozen.
I'm concerned. I'll just say that.
Yeah, what if
Okay.
he did the drip method? He just left it like fully on.
Yeah, the wet bandits.
How many drips did you leave on?
4, 3.
Which ones?
Sink. Guest bathroom, shower.
I mean, condo you can have frozen pipes, but yeah, okay, good job.
Drip King. But it's been bad. It's been really bad here.
Tomorrow's gonna be 17 degrees. We're good.
It
We're
was
back.
It was negative 27 wind chill this morning, I believe. It's been like negative 15, negative 20 on the wind chill. It's been like negative 8 actual degrees outside. And we're lucky enough where we can come in, we work indoors, we watch football, which we can't complain about.
Facts.
So we watched football this weekend, and we were
Also working a gym.
also working a gym, and we were leaving the office, and me and Big Cat were walking out at the same time, and we're like, yeah, this sucks, but we just got to get through it. And Big Cat goes, yeah, but you know what? At least we got garages, so we don't have to spend that much time outside. It's so awesome having a garage. I was like, yeah, you're right. I love my garage. It makes it really easy to get there in the morning when I don't have to actually get outside until I get to the office. So I get home. It's about, how late were we there? Probably like
It was like
12.
2.
Yeah, you're right.
It was
late
like
night.
1. Yeah, on Sunday night.
1:32, and I get home, and I pull into my driveway. I hit the garage door opener on my garage. Nothing happens, and I hit it again. Nothing happens again. So I park on the street, go inside, check out the garage, and I hit the button again, and it starts lifting it up off the ground, except the bottom of the garage is frozen to the driveway because we got snow and it was so fucking cold that froze the bottom of my garage door to the driveway, and the motor lifts the top of my garage and pulls it apart at the seam from the bottom of my garage. So now I've got a big hole in the middle of my garage from where the motor just pulled it up. I did not think that, like, I knew Chicago winters were going to be tough. I didn't think it was like freeze your garage door to the ground until it gets ripped apart by the motor cold.
Yeah, last 3 days have sucked.
It's been
It was
bad.
17 degrees tomorrow.
It's 17.
And 40 on Monday, next Monday.
A balmy 17 tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. My cool throne is Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan on the cool throne. First responder Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Lifesaver Hulk Hogan. There was a multi-car accident in Clearwater, Florida. That's where all the golfers live, right?
Yep.
He was reportedly driving with a friend when they stopped to respond to the accident. Hogan helped the teen driver get out of her car by popping the car's airbags with tools he had on hand.
Love that, brother.
He just showed up and was like, "Oh yeah," just like stabbed it.
That was Macho
That was
Man,
Macho
you
Man.
said,
Yeah. But he just showed up and stabbed the airbag with probably a knife, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But if you're that,
He probably, I feel like he's got an eclectic keychain.
he might just use his dick.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
got a hog.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
He
yeah.
shows up and
We
just.
never saw it. Federal crime.
No, I didn't. I never saw it. If you're that person and you get into a car accident, imagine that, and you rolled your car over multiple times, airbags off, and the first thing you see is like Hulk Hogan tearing your door off the handle, helping. You would think that you died.
Yeah,
right?
you think you're in heaven.
It's
It's
like-
like the American hero.
That's God.
Yeah.
I've ascended.
Good job by Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah. All right, my hot seats is it was temporarily Lions fans, but I actually am going to back them. Kelly Stafford came out and said that Lions fans booed her 4 little daughters. She's since retracted, but that was a crazy lie.
So
Be like, Mike, there's
who
no
they booed Matt Stafford.
they might have booed Kelly Stafford, but no one's like to say that your daughters got booed is insane.
Yeah, well,
That was like an instant, like, oh, we lost. Let me make them feel bad. I stand with Lions fans. There's no way unless you show me a video of a Lions fans pointing at the daughter and being like, see, you little girl, boo, no chance.
so if your daughters are on camera with you and Matt Stafford,
Right.
and there's boos,
They're not booing
they're not
the
booing,
daughters.
Yeah, they're not booing your daughters.
That's what I was saying. Like, I was like, unless you can like tell me, like, I'm sure they were sitting in a suite in the hallways of the suite. Someone booed the daughters. No
Yeah.
chance. So Lions fans, you're off the hot seat.
I could see Philly
I
fans doing that though.
I stood with Lions fans right from the jump on that one because that was one of those ones where it's like, I get it. You lost a very emotional game. The whole thing is emotional. Let me just throw out that they were mean to my kids.
Yeah, it's a
Get
smart
some cover.
Yeah, it's a smart play for a second if you know the right people in the media
Right.
that will believe you at face value.
But I didn't believe it for a second.
Kelly Smollett.
Yeah. The booing of little kids, I don't. And also, it would be kind of funny. Like, I don't want little kids to get booed, but it's also when little kids do get booed, it's like no one's actually booing out of malice. It's like kind of funny boo.
See-
Like a kid doesn't finish his like popcorn fast enough when he's on the Jumbotron.
To me, that'd be awesome if Philly did it.
Yeah.
If Philly fans boo,
Go Birds.
yeah, go Birds, right,
Yeah.
right in her face.
Yeah.
That would be funny in the same way that the Tua fingers you think are funny.
Oh yeah.
But
Very funny.
if I saw like a Philly guy in full face paint with the shoulder pads on, like booing a 3-year-old girl, that would
Yeah.
be so funny.
Booing's hot in the streets these days.
It is. Everyone's getting booed.
Daughters getting booed, widows getting booed,
Mm-hmm.
Nick Sirianni getting booed, popcorn dumped.
Mm-hmm.
We're just booing. All right, my cool throne was Billy Mitchell as well. He's back. He's all the way back. The greatest villain of all time. Okay, Jake, your hot seat cool throne.
My hot seat is Liberty Football. They tweeted getting it done in the classroom with the book emoji, and then the graphic says 2.96 cumulative GPA.
Love that.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's
It's actually not terrible
No.
for a team, but
really
they're like
good.
bragging about it as if it was a
It's-
4.0.
It is pretty good.
Well, it's
Football
it's
team.
the old
They
it's
didn't
the
come to
old
play school.
It's the old tip. If your GPA is below 3.0,
Don't
just
put it on your
leave it off the resume.
Just
Yeah.
don't put it on the resume
Yeah.
unless you had like a 3.8 or
Yeah, just leave it off. Just be like graduated college.
What was your resume or your GPA in college?
Mine was high. I was pretty good at college because I found all the hacks where I just did bullshit classes.
Yeah.
I was like a 3.9.
Oh,
nerd.
wow.
Nerd alert.
That's awesome.
I got a C my freshman year, and then I literally just found the easiest classes that took no work, and I never took a math class, never took a language class. I found the oldest professor in the world to do like a history class he just gave everyone an A. It's really, college is like, can you find the hacks?
Yeah.
Ray, my professor, was clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make
Yeah.
sure you really pronounce that T. in there. That's just a enunciation.
Why? What was your GPA?
291.
Okay, so tweet it out.
What do you guys think
Liberty
my high
football.
school GPA was?
204.
No, you had like high school classes. You probably found your way in. Some
Oh
really,
no, I
really
think I
easy
was pretty
classes.
close. What was it?
50?
I'm gonna say 2.6.
2.3.
Oh, okay.
2-3.
Split the difference.
Here you
Yeah.
are. Doesn't matter.
No.
Nope, doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter. In fact, if you have a lower GPA, it's like a quarterback that throws interceptions. Sometimes it's like
Yeah,
You
took
tried.
shots. No, I admit that my GPA was like the juice ball era
check down.
in college because I never took a class on Friday either. That's the other tip.
Yeah, I tried to get all classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays one year. That was not working.
I did it every single year. I did not take a class on Friday after my first semester in college.
I did Tuesday, Thursdays one semester.
I did every
it's so
single
hard, just like
semester.
logistic. No, but
No,
only
just Tuesday.
Only
no,
Tuesday,
no
Thursday
Monday or
classes.
Wednesdays either.
Yes, I would do that pretty much every single year. I'd say maybe some Mondays, one Monday and Wednesday, but I did a lot of Tuesdays and Thursdays.
But if you try
All
to do
Tuesdays
it
and
where it's like literally all classes on Tuesday or Thursday, it is impossible from a logistical point of view to just like get physically from one room to another. But it was like it would have been
No,
so
No, because
I'd
there's night
crush it.
classes.
Yeah, also
I took night classes
Also,
on Tuesday, Thursdays.
the tip too is like I hit it on the nose of how many credits you needed to graduate. I did not do like I had some friends who got like I think it was like 120. You need like someone who were in the 140s. I hit 120 the last second I took a final in my senior year.
I lived so close to Villanova that I took summer classes. Those are the easiest classes.
Oh yeah, did
Like,
that hack
that
too?
was
Yep,
re-
summer classes just get an extra like
But-
5
and they
credits.
have some like really hard classes that you can take in the summer, and they're like half as they're like half as difficult.
The other tip for college kids is if you go to a big school, it's either go to class or read the book, one or the other. If you do, because professors don't really give a fuck. They basically teach you what's gonna be on the test is in their class. Or if you don't go to the class, you can just read the whole book and you'll get everything you need.
I've got a hot tip if you're looking to get out of a test too and you're a college student. No professor will ever call you on this. Tell them you got sprayed by a skunk. I did that one time. That was my excuse because there were skunks on campus.
I like
was like,
that one.
I got sprayed by a skunk. I can't make it in. I'm going to Walmart to get tomato juice today so I can clean up.
Yeah.
And the professor, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to be like, come in and let me smell you?
No
I already
chance.
told you I'm on the way to Walmart right now to get the tomato juice. I'll be cleaned up by the next time you see me.
College is a sham. It's a big trick.
Yep, agreed.
You just got to get through the tricks.
Survive in advance.
Yeah.
It's tricks. You just find tricks, and then you're like, all right, this class is easy. I'll take this again. I did a class that was called, I think it was not actually called it, but people called it around campus clap for credit. It was just like all the athletes, you just would go and listen to music.
Yeah.
Clap for credit.
I
That's
took
pretty
Super
cool.
Bowl and society. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty
The
cool.
history of the
class.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I took dinosaurs too.
That rocks.
That actually was a hard class, but it was online, so I cheated.
I took football coaching.
Ooh.
Which was awesome.
That's sick.
My professor spent like 5 years compiling all this data to figure out whether or not you should take the ball or kick off in the first half. And he would only be like, I found out that if you receive the kickoff, your field position is actually worse over the course of the first half.
Oh.
And then I raised my hand. I said, what about the second half? Because it switches to the second half. He's like, I didn't take that into account when I was writing my thesis. So it's like, okay, this was a level of education we're dealing with here, but it was an awesome class.
That is a sick class. I love that class. All right, Cheek, what was your cool throw?
My cool throw are passengers who are on an airplane where the door blows off because Alaska Airlines is awarding them $1,500.
Oh,
$1,500?
That's
Full
it?
thrown, yeah.
That's fucking it?
Sorry about
And a refund of the original flight.
sorry about you guys almost dying.
There's $1,500.
I'd be
I wore my
pissed.
seatbelt.
I'd rather have nothing.
Yeah,
Honestly, that's a
it's insulting.
door
should be like-
coming off. It has to start at $10,000.
It should it should just be like flights for life.
But you probably have to sign something saying you're not going to sue them for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be in a neck brace getting off that plane. I would get in an
Not
ambulance.
in the moment you
Oh
would,
yes.
though.
Oh, you need an ambulance. You got to take me to a hospital.
Oh yes.
I'd go to ketamine therapy for years.
Yes.
Help me get over this trauma.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got, Max?
I was just thinking, flights for life might be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but then you have
flights
to
for-
stick with that one airline. And then what if you park your car at Midway
True,
and
I
then
didn't
there's
think about
only
parking
going to
the car at
O'Hare?
Midway.
Now you're fucked.
Yeah. The parking situation.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Also, if a plane with Alaska Airlines almost I mean, that's
so
disintegrates
valid.
in the air.
Exactly.
That's
Which
not
is so
valid. No, it's not. To come to delay a whole day.
It was a holiday.
I would
And there was
definitely
football
try
on.
to come back on come back on the Monday, being like, "Oh, I
In the
have
middle
to
of
take an
2
Uber.
games?
I've done it. I did it when we lived in New York. JFK LaGuardia, like, oh, I can get a better flight, earlier flight. Okay, I'll just take an Uber.
It is the difference between flying into LaGuardia and flying into like Newark.
Yeah,
That's fucking
but
far.
on Martin Luther King Day, there's no traffic.
Yeah, actually, no. It's actually way worse to fly into the New York airport.
Yes.
That example, because it's way easier to just drive to the different airport here.
It's all right. We're gonna track all your flights now. We're fine. We got a whole system in place. All right, let's get to our interview. We got Pete Prisco. Great interview with Pete Prisco, our good friend, and then we'll finish up with Guys on Chicks on the other side.
Pete Prisco is being brought to you by Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's is the best. Ordering dinner is a can't-lose, must-win game, and Raising Cane's is your modal lock for chicken fingers this year. Love Raising Cane's. Love the sauce. Love the crinkle-cut fries. They've got the best bread, too. Their bread is so good. We worked the drive-thru. Was that the Final Four? They put us in the drive-thru. It was a great time. If you're deep into the playoff push, watching every game like us, then the Cane's tailgate is the best bet. Get their hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and incredibly delicious secret recipe Cane sauce. Better yet, make it another celebration for your crew with Texas toast, crinkle-cut fries, and a jug of their fresh-squeezed lemonade. Now, if you're one for the after hours, don't forget that Cane's is open late, so swing by, satisfy those late-night cravings. No matter day or night, Raising Cane's is the lock for hot, fresh chicken fingers. And they're also cool guys. The people that run Raising Cane's, good people you want to support. Shout out Todd at Raising Cane's, great dude. Love hanging out with him, and I love their chicken. They send us chicken when we're in the gambling cave, and we eat Raising Cane's every weekend. It is delicious. Satisfy your Cane's fix today. There really is no other option. And now here's Pete Prisco.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest, one of our very good friends. He is a senior NFL columnist for CBSSports.com. You can find him on CBS Sports HQ. It's Pete Prisco. We wanted to have him on because we're in the middle of the playoffs, and we are now heading into the divisional round, and Pete's Jacksonville Jaguars are set to play their first playoff game as the 1 seed out of the AFC. So we thought we'd get Pete on to talk about his Jacksonville Jaguars before their big playoff game. Pete, you must have enjoyed the bye, right?
Yeah, the bye was great. And by the way, they're not my Jaguars. I just happened to pick them, and I was an idiot. And believe me, you and every 50 million of your listeners have reminded me of my stupidity in picking Jacksonville to be the number 1 seed over and over and over.
Uh-huh.
You did it, Big Cat. You did it about 20 times during the season.
Yeah.
He's just relentless.
Yeah, every time they lost, I was like, was this scheduled? Was this scheduled, Pete?
What happened to the schedule? Where was the schedule wrong? Because you weren't wrong. The schedule was wrong.
No, I was wrong because the team stunk. I mean, let's be real. They had so many issues this year, and it starts with the roster. The general manager has not done a good job, and yet he still stays there over and over. He's the one guy that continues to be in the organization no matter who's running it. Bad decision. And then you add it all up, and guys didn't play well. I think Doug Peterson's at fault for some of that. They seem like whenever they start reading their press clippings and think they're good, they go in the toilet. And so there were a variety of reasons, and the quarterback didn't play as well. So add it all up, and I made a stupid pick. And believe me, every one of your guys can continue to remind me because I deserve it.
It's the nature of the organization, I think. Like if you pick, even the Cowboys, or you pick the Steelers, like a team that has won Super Bowls in their past, to win a Super Bowl or go to a Super Bowl, people can visualize it. They can see it. When you say the Jaguars are going to go to the Super Bowl, it leaves an impression on people's brains in late August that they then stick with, and they're like, who was that Jaguars guy? Oh, yeah, Pete Prisco. And I might have reminded some people.
You did. You were relentless. And by the way, what if you said, okay, the Lions? They've never been in the Super Bowl, but if you said the Lions before the season, would you have gotten the same reaction? Probably not. And are the Lions capable of going to the Super Bowl? Of course they are.
Yeah.
So, when it's teams that never have been there, of course, when you pick them and say they're going to get there for reasons that were laid out, I think I deserve. By the way, I deserve the heat. Give it to me.
I appreciate that, Pete.
Scheduled.
I think a lot of people could have taken the easy way out and said the schedule. Trevor Lawrence was hurt. et cetera, et cetera. I appreciate you putting your hand up. And so Pete is welcoming you to give him all the abuse online. Pete wants your abuse. You're a sick.
And he doesn't block people anymore.
No.
Not as many. Now, if you get personal, I'll block you.
Okay.
If you get personal, I'll block you. Other than that, no, I'm not blocking you.
All right, so Pete, looking back at Super Wildcard Weekend, the game stunk for the most part. The Rams-Lions, that was a good game. I enjoyed that one a lot. But for the most part, the rest of the game's not really interesting. What is the biggest surprise?
Well, I think the biggest surprise has to be Green Bay going in and winning the way they did. I thought they would hang around in the game, but to go in there and dominate the way they did, that was a bad look for Dallas. And everybody's all excited about Dan Quinn. The plan was awful. Yeah. I mean, they had 6 defensive backs on the field the entire game. Not only that, their linebackers weighed 220 and 225, I think. They're tiny. They got pushed around. The Packers outsmarted them on that side of the ball and did whatever they wanted to. And by the way, there were a lot of people out there that were killing Jordan Love before the season. A lot of them. Many of them.
Who? No.
Well, Adam Shine being one of them. I mean, he destroyed him. And the day I was there, he destroyed him. And they were angry about it. I asked Jordan Love about it. He didn't care. The players didn't care. They love that guy. That guy has a little bit of it to him. You can't see that when a guy comes out in the draft. You have no idea. He's got that in him, and I think that's played out. So that was a big surprise to me. It was the way they handled the Cowboys.
Yeah, Jordan Love's playing incredible football. I've just admitted that he's probably a future Hall of Famer. The other thing or maybe surprising, I don't know, the Eagles just basically dead team walking. What happens now? Is Nick Sirianni probably has to go, even though he's made the playoffs 3 years in a row, made a Super Bowl, but that type of collapse, I don't think we've seen a collapse quite like that in the NFL in terms of how good they were last year to this year, and then 10-1, and then out in an embarrassing fashion.
Let me ask you this though: when they were 10-1, did you think they looked like a 10-1 team? They never really looked like never looked like a dominant team that they were at the end of last season. They had issues, and here's part of the problem with the Eagles: they let age creep in a lot of spots. The 2 corners, those 2 guys were terrible. Slay, he and Bradbury both had issues. When they lost Maddox early in the season, that nickel corner became a problem. They didn't rush the passer like they did a year ago. And so on the other side of the ball, they were physical last year. They weren't physical at all. They got away from the run the entire season, except for early in the season when Swift ran well. So I think Sirianni's in trouble in large part because of the way it played out. But think about that. You go from Super Bowl 1 January to February to fired the next January? Is that where we are in the NFL these days?
But I think when you think specifically about the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, he fired Andy Reid, who's one of the best coaches of all time. He fired Doug Peterson, a couple years after he won a Super Bowl? So he has clearly shown that he's not going to be timid when it comes to making changes with the coaches.
Do we give Sirianni any benefit of the doubt because he lost both his offensive and defensive coordinator from a year ago?
No, I think it's an indictment on Sirianni.
Yeah, he's coordinator merchant.
How's that an indictment on Sirianni? They leave for head coaching jobs.
No, that's great for his coordinators, but I'm saying that Sirianni himself, you see what you get without these 2 guys with him. Like, what does he bring to the table? Answer me that, Pete. What does Nick Sirianni do really well?
I don't know how he handles the room. I know he coaches. He answers questions with an attitude. I can tell you that, and that's the word, is that he has the edge and the attitude. Does that rub players the wrong way? Does that anger them? They didn't get better. So to answer your question, I will sit here and say that team was not better than they were a year ago. And that you can say is an indictment of the head coach.
Right.
Yeah. So with Sirianni in particular, would you say he lost the locker room?
Don't know. It seemed like it though. Did you see Jalen Hurts when he was asked about him last night about whether he didn't really give him a vote of confidence, and that's never a good look when you're quarterback. You saw Dak Prescott. He at least came out in defense of Mike McCarthy. He backed him. Jalen Hurts didn't.
Yeah. Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy might just be. They're like, hey, will you get my back? Will you get my back? Because we're both kind of fucked. Like we got to at least have each other's back here because there's a chance we're both gone next year.
No, well, let me ask you this. For all Dan Quinn's the greatest in the world. What lost the game the other day for the Cowboys? Was the offense or the defense? I know Prescott threw a couple bad interceptions.
Offense in the first half. In the first half. You can't come out at home and look like that, I know the defense is bad. And people will say Dak's stats because he obviously second half he put up a bunch of numbers.
Yeah, that was garbage.
But you have to, if you are Dak Prescott and you have Super Bowl aspirations and you are home against a 7 seed, 7.5 point dog, you have to come out and give your team a chance to be in the game right away. They were out of that game within 15 minutes. The way he looked, the touchdown, long drive touchdown, 3 and out, then some turnovers. He buried that team. I know the defense didn't play well, but Dak buried that team, and he showed up way too late.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where. Yeah, I mean, he didn't play well. Don't get me wrong, but I that goes back to the Buffalo game when they played Buffalo. Remember, Buffalo ran it down their throat for 270 yards that day. They barely even threw the football, and so you're too little. They're too little. They don't have enough bodies in there to counter out the run, and when you can't do that, you hit those shots down the field. So yeah, Dak didn't play well, but they were the number one scoring offense in the National Football League this year. I mean, so you got to take into account that too.
Yeah, in the regular season, yeah. So
right.
I mean, that's what you get out of Dallas. They've been great in the regular season, and McCarthy.
Would you both fire Mike McCarthy and Nick Sirianni?
I think you should extend Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott indefinitely in Dallas, and I think that you should make Nick Sirianni coach for life in Philadelphia. I'm saying that as a Commanders
like a real command.
Yes.
Like a Commanders fan.
I would love that, and that tells you all you need to know. Like, think about it that way. Like, I think each fan base wants their coach gone.
Yeah, I'd fire both. Especially because who do you have right now? You have Harbaugh, you have Belichick, possibly Tomlin, Vrabel.
Because Belichick's done a wonderful job the last
hold on,
years.
but Vrabel, Pete Carroll, like there's some names out there that are significant upgrades from what Mike McCarthy and Nick Sirianni's easier to me. Mike McCarthy, I get it, like he had a better season, and then the playoff disappointment happens again. But yeah, I think both guys should be gone if I were.
So Sirianni gets nothing for going to the Super Bowl a year ago.
I think. I mean, you can ask the Philly sports faithful out there. We know one or two of them, and
I mean, I get it. Would you?
It's the way that it fell apart.
If he had won that game, which probably some people argue that the call was terrible and he probably should have won the game, would you still fire him this year?
Oh, if he had won a Super Bowl last year? No, you'd probably give him an extra year of saving grace.
Just think about that for a second.
Yeah, but that's the difference. Maybe if he didn't cry, too. If he didn't cry at the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl, I might keep him.
So I'm with you on crying. I mean, unless you have like a family death that relates to the football or something, like Caleb Williams crying after he holding his mom after. Yeah.
Hold on. Caleb Williams. Mental health is mental wealth. So let's chill out with that. Caleb Williams might be a bear, so I'm going to watch what I say.
Yeah, but I still don't like crying after football games.
Okay.
That's just me.
Or before.
I think it's always appropriate to cry in the national anthem. You can do it. If no Sean Moreno, you remember that when he had just tears streaming down his face? That's just love for your country.
America,
That's passion.
I mean, if you had if you have a relative who was involved with it and was close to you and he died the week before or something, I get it. I understand that. But just for crying after a game or before a game, it's not.
You should write a pamphlet. Pete Prisco's advice for personal grieving.
I like it.
the do's and don'ts for guys.
You know what? Believe me, I can talk about it. You got to laugh. That's the first and foremost. You have to laugh over situations to deal with the grief. I can promise you that.
Yes,
and that's lesson number one.
So with Tomlin in particular, he kind of stormed out of the press conference. He turned and ran when they asked him about the 1 year left on his contract. That doesn't seem like the behavior of a man that plans on sticking around. If I were to guess, otherwise he just would have said I'm going to be the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you think that there's any chance he just walks away?
You start hearing that, and there's some rumblings around the league that he will walk away. Again, it's a grind, guys. You know that. You're around it long enough. It wears on you. These guys miss so many things in their lives, and I think at some point you got to step back from it. Bill Cowers, never came back, and he's enjoyed his life since then. And I think guys get away from it. Mike Smith, the coach fired for the Falcons, never came back in any way, shape, or form, and enjoys his life. I think it's tough on these guys. So I think, would I be surprised if Mike Tomlin walked away? No, absolutely not.
Okay, so if let's say hypothetically Mike Tomlin's out there, and hypothetically he is not completely done with football. So he and the Steelers work out an arrangement. He doesn't want to be there for whatever reason next year. Rank the top 5 best coaching candidates, because I feel like this is the best free agent class maybe in the history of head coaching.
Well, if Belichick is not the general manager, he's the best. Because Belichick, the general manager, got Belichick, the coach, in a lot of trouble. The roster stinks.
GM Belichick fired Bill Belichick, the head coach.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he should. Bill Belichick, the GM, should have been fired a long time ago. And so I think Belichick's the best coach. Tomlin's right behind him, I think, right there. Harbaugh, but you got to. I mean, Harbaugh will fix things, but the shelf life, is going to be very short.
Who cares? Who cares? He wins.
He's a time bomb.
You want him in Chicago, don't you?
I wanted him so bad. I mean, it's not going to happen, but he wins. That's what he does.
Yeah, he does. You know why he wins? Because he builds that thing physically. He builds both the offensive and defense. Everywhere he's been, build the offense and defensive line to go. And that's the way you have to win in the NFL. If your two lines are good and you have a quarterback, you're winning no matter what else is around.
Yeah. So we've had this debate, and you watched the film, Pete. Right now, let's throw contracts out of the situation. Where is C.J. Stroud ranked in quarterbacks in the NFL? Like, if we throw all contracts out of this situation, and you call up and you're like, hey, we'll trade our quarterback for C.J. Stroud, how many teams are actually like willing to or want to do that, and how many teams are like hanging up like, no,
how
our
many
quarterback's
teams
better?
won't? The question is, how many teams won't do it?
Yeah, right. Okay. So how many teams will hang up and be
Mahomes,
like,
no? You wouldn't do it with Mahomes.
Yep.
You wouldn't do it with Josh Allen. You probably wouldn't do it with Lamar, I don't think.
Okay.
You wouldn't do it with Burrow.
Yep. Is that it? I think that might be it, which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to hear high praise from me? This is high praise for me. And I, in a million years, I never thought I'd say this about anybody. He makes me think of Dan Marino in his heyday.
Ooh, whoa.
He makes it look so easy with the quick release and the ability to throw. He's a little more, he has a little more movement than Dan did, but the ability to decipher it and put it right on the numbers and he makes it look easy. There are a few guys that walk into this league and make it look that easy. That's why he reminds me of Marino. And remember, guys, Marino wasn't as good in college as he was in the NFL.
Oh, cocaine, yeah.
Well, oh God.
Allegedly.
And by the way, C.J. Stroud wasn't as good in college as he is in the NFL, and won't be.
That's a big claim, because we actually were talking about it on Monday that C.J. Stroud, I think, you can have this debate because you can look at the numbers differently and you can add playoff wins or not. But I think C.J. Stroud is now in the conversation for best rookie quarterback year ever. And Dan Marino would obviously be in that conversation as well because he was phenomenal his rookie year, won the MVP the second year. But that's the level he's playing at right now. And you're right, too, because the classic Dan Marino quote, there is no defense for a perfect pass. Like, that's what C.J. Stroud's doing.
And the interesting thing, look, Nico Collins was a nice receiver, but he's made him into a big-time receiver. And Tank Dell, he was putting up numbers as a rookie. Marino had, Clayton and Duper. Neither one of those guys were great players. They were really good players, and Marino made them that much better. I think that's what C.J. Stroud does to Nico Collins, what he was doing with Tank Dell. And I think when you have that guy, look, everybody missed on him. Let's be real. And nobody thought he was going to be that. Nobody out there. And if you probably put the Texans on the lie detector, if they had the first pick, they probably would have taken Bryce Young. Okay, so they all missed on him. Nobody thought he was going to be this good.
No, I heard that C.J. Stroud was always their guy, no matter what. That's what the Texans have
that's
told
what
me
they say after. That's what they say after the fact. But you know what? He should have been Carolina's guy. Mm-hmm. That's what he should have been. He should have been Carolina's guy.
You're wearing their colors right now. Let's talk about Miami Dolphins. They, as we all predicted, they went into Kansas City in a cold weather game, and it was bad. It was really ugly. It's kind of what we've been leaning towards all year, with them seeming to not be able to beat any good teams, just not being built for the cold. How do you fix? Because we're talking about how to instill toughness in a team. Maybe it's not toughness. Maybe it's something else. But you tell us, how do you fix the Miami Dolphins? Because they're not totally broken. They've got talent. They've got good players. But how do you fix them next year to make sure that they can win in January?
Well, the offensive line has to be better, first and foremost. Losing the center, it really hurt their offensive line, and they had guys going in and out the whole season. That matters. You talk about physical team. They ran the ball well all year long. They were great running running the football. It's just a different style of running the football, and that they get a lot of big chunk plays instead of wearing you down physically. So it looks different. Tua has to be better in big moments on the road. I think, you saw the reports coming out of Kansas City. I don't necessarily believe this, but they said if he patted the ball, that means he's getting off his first read, he's done. And so you looked at that game, and he didn't play very well. I think it's Tua has to play better. They have to be more physical. They have to be, willing to do different things too. I like the creativity of early in the season is great, but you have to be able, like you said, run the ball, consistently, take the pressure off those shots. And the injuries just decimated the defense. Let's be real. How many teams can handle playing a playoff game without your top 3 pass rushers, picking guys up off the street, your second corners out, your starting linebackers out, and go out and try and defend against the Chiefs? And they actually played okay on defense in that game.
Yeah. No, they did. Yeah, they did kind of. I mean, Mahomes also, his receivers, like D'Amico Hardman, just deciding to just stop a route was crazy when Mahomes is throwing a perfect pass. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Dolphins. Do you want to apologize for being wrong about Jared Goff?
How was I wrong about Jared Goff?
I don't know. I just saw your first tweet saying, what was it? One more thing. I said the Lions had to learn how to win big games before the season. They have done that and more. I can admit when I am wrong. Jared Goff and that offense are tough to stop.
Jared, I'm a big Jared Goff
Okay,
guy.
good.
I know you good. By the way, I've told you guys this before. One day in training camp, I went to go talk to him years ago, and he walked up to me and he goes, "You're the guy I heard on your podcast, by the way. He heard me with you guys." I go, "Yeah, he's a big fan of you guys. So
Yeah.
Of course you guys love him." No, he doesn't get the due he deserves. He never has, and we might be a lot like that. We take up for guys like that with Josh Allen, Jared Goff. I don't understand it. There's certain guys that just get ripped to shreds by the media for whatever reason, and I don't understand it. He's one of them, by the way.
Yeah. So I think what Big Cat's getting at, and Pete, this is like Pete Prisco 101. It's in the handbook. You say you won't bet on a team to win a playoff game until they've already won a playoff game. You're like, they haven't proven to me that they can win when it counts in January. And then once they do that one year, then the next year you're like, okay, yeah, they can win in January.
Correct. You have to prove you. I mean, that's that's my straight from the football textbook. You're right. Prove to me. Prove it to me.
So the Texans, the Lions, and the Packers surprised you a lot this weekend.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You can only go off what you've seen.
I picked Cleveland. I picked the Rams. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens in Cleveland? Is Joe Flacco? Is there a world where Joe Flacco starts at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year? Is that possible?
No. Flacco in the game. I mean, that's Joe Flacco. You get the grade of Joe Flacco. You get the Flacco of Flacco. I mean, he threw some of the worst interceptions all season long, and you sat there and you go, okay, is this the start of it? I mean, it was a great story. I mean, don't get me wrong, coming off the street and playing the way he did, but no, he's not the quarterback. Watson will be the quarterback for obvious financial reasons.
Yeah. It's we'll miss Joe. That was a fun 5 weeks or whatever it was, throwing it back.
It was. And by the way, their defense just was awful. The great defense, they were terrible. They were a no-show the other day.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we saw it a little bit on the road. All right, so looking ahead to this weekend, who's gonna shock the world? Because we have some interesting games outside of the Chiefs. I don't know what the Bucs Lions line is, but obviously the Chiefs Bills is lined as under a field goal game. The other 3 games seem to be there. It's a 6-point line. The other 3 games are expected to be maybe not as close. So are we going to get a shock this weekend? Are we going to get someone shocking the world?
Yes, but I don't know. I mean, who will it be? Kansas City, you guys know this. Kansas City can win in Buffalo, particularly all the injuries in Buffalo. So that wouldn't be a shock.
That's not a shock, yeah.
No. The shock would be if Green Bay pulls off the upset at San Francisco. Are they capable of doing it? I worry about their defense getting pushed around. They've always had a problem stopping the run. It's been an issue for them for a long time. Can they stop the run? If they can stop the run, I think they'll move the ball in San Francisco. Their offensive line's playing great. And if you block the Niners, you're having success throwing against the Niners. I think they're susceptible in the secondary to the pass. So if they block them, they beat them, and their line's playing well. I think they hang around in that game. I do. And would it at all shock me to see him win it? No. That one would. I could see them winning that game.
So I want the Niners to win, obviously, but I think that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we had Detroit hosting an NFC Championship game. How awesome would that be?
But you don't think the Bucs can win at Detroit?
No, I'm just saying. I'm looking ahead.
If the Bucs win, then the Detroit wouldn't host an NFC Championship.
Think about it. If the Packers win and the Bucs win, the championship game would be in Tampa.
That would be weird. That'd be very weird.
That would be weird. No, it would be great for the league to have the Lions hosting a championship game. Are you kidding me? That place was rocking the other day.
It was.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
If we're looking at the NFL from the lens of it being scripted for ratings, the Super Bowl would be the Lions and the Chiefs with Taylor Swift in the audience. That's what they
ideally
want.
It would have been the Cowboys and the Chiefs. That would have been the ideal.
No, but the Cowboys, that's in the NFL script every year. It's like the ending of like an SVU show. They catch the bad guy at the end. Every year the Cowboys lose in the playoffs.
This would be great
But ideal scenario from a TV standpoint and an NFL standpoint would have been Cowboys Chiefs with Taylor Swift.
The ideal scenario is Lions Chiefs. PFT's right.
No.
And then the Lions beat the Chiefs, and Taylor Swift sees Dan Campbell, and she's like, I never knew there was such a thing as this alpha man. It's a whole new species. I am going to do everything I can to date him. And they become the new hot couple.
Yeah, I don't think that script's actually playing out.
Okay, well, you're in the same room with Dan Campbell.
Isn't TMZ reporting that Kelsey's getting engaged this summer?
Well, that's a weird thing to report in TMZ.
Are you reading TMZ?
I saw it somewhere on some one of those sites.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
TMZ reporting 6 months in advance of you asking somebody to marry you is such much. That must be so bizarre for Travis Kelce.
By the way, I have Taylor Swift tickets for next October. Anybody want to buy them?
Sure.
How much?
Where are they? Where you go? Where?
They're in Miami. My wife got them. She wants to go. But I don't know if we're going to go.
Oh.
Might sell them.
You want me to take your wife?
Yeah, we'll take your wife.
Oh, you pervert.
All right, Pete. Is that a pineapple on the shelf behind you?
But you know what, though? Think about it. My wife is a lot like me, so you guys are it's crazy. So
we love you.
We have a great time with your wife.
Don't make me get the machine gun out.
My Tommy gun. Pete, we were talking about this. Another thing I want your thoughts on Monday. Patrick Mahomes has 12 playoff wins already. It's 6 seasons in. He's got 12 playoff wins. I went through it. It's like Elway and Manning got their 12th playoff win in their final seasons. He's got more playoff wins than Aikman. If he wins another Super Bowl this year, is it even a discussion that he's not he's number 2, right? Like, does he pass Montana with 3?
If he wins another one, he's number 2.
Yep.
He's far from done. That's the scary thing about it.
Right.
He's going to end up. He might end up passing Brady as the greatest of all time in terms of Super Bowls, MVPs, numbers, the whole deal. I mean, he's special, and he carries that team every single week. I mean, the things he does, the tackles are getting beat on a consistent basis, and he's getting outside, making throws down the field, hitting guys with ropes for 60 yards, and it's going right through their hands. I mean, it's amazing what they do. Now, I was at the last Buffalo-Kansas City game in the regular season. They didn't play well in that game. Remember, that was the Kadarius Toney situation. But I think Buffalo, if they had so many injuries on defense, though. I mean, they lost a bunch of them yesterday too. I hope those guys can get back because I want to see it. I want to see Mahomes on the road for the first time against the defense that's capable of playing against them, not some bunch of backups on the field.
Yeah.
What about the Ravens? What about Lamar? Can he win in the playoffs? Well, actually, let me back up. First of all, who gets your MVP vote?
It would be Lamar.
Okay, all right, good answer. I think he probably had the best. It's like him and Josh Allen, I think, is where we'll find some of the votes split.
What Josh Allen's done is incredible. And you guys know how I feel about Josh Allen. What he's done is incredible. And he's another guy. Everybody just tears him to shreds. Yep. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, he turns the ball over, but he's turning the ball over because he's pressing, because he puts that team on his back and carries them. I mean, and by the way, Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions, and he was great as well. It takes trying to make plays, and you will throw interceptions. I've had many a quarterback tell me, look, if I didn't want to throw interceptions, I could play a whole season with throwing as few as you would imagine, but I wouldn't be taking any chances.
Yeah. So with the Ravens this year, can Lamar start winning in the playoffs? 2-time MVP, probably.
I think this offense he's fit it. It fits him. It's different. They can throw it, and they don't have to be, a run heavy offense like they've been in the past. They can still run it, but I think this offense is very conducive to what he does, and he's played great throwing the football. Yeah, he can turn it on this week. The other side is what C.J. Stroud does against that defense, the way they throw so many different looks at you. I think that's the more interesting one there.
Yeah. Okay, so Pete, I had one last question for you. This has been awesome. We love having you on. It's a Roback question, rhoback.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, roback.com, promo code TAKE. Can you tell us where your best guess where all these guys are going to end up coaching? The Belichick, Harbaugh, Tomlin. Where are some of these chess pieces going to move to?
Belichick's going to go to Atlanta.
That's official. I mean, that's the all-time biggest cuck move of all. Like, you
It's
can't do that if you're the Falcons.
Yeah, yes, you can. Because all you want to do, if you're Arthur Blank, all you want to do is win.
Oh,
but
man.
the problem with that scenario is how long is Belichick going to be there, and who's going to play quarterback?
Yeah.
Because if you can't get Kirk Cousins, for example, or somebody, a veteran quarterback, then you're going to draft the guy, and his patience going to be, you know what I mean? I just think you're concerned. They're going to have a high. They're a pick. They could trade up with the Bears, by the way, and go get one of those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They could.
No.
Or they could trade Justin Fields.
Yeah. I want a new quarterback. I think.
You do?
Yeah, I think I just watching like C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love, and I like Justin Fields. I'll root for him for the rest of his career. I really want it to work. Like, you have to be able to pass the ball, and you have to be able to pass the ball with anticipation, and you have to be able to make those big time throws. And he's shown flashes, but it's just, I don't know. It's like a question: do you see it or do you not?
That's a tough decision. That's a tough decision because you're sitting here saying to get Caleb Williams, what is he going to be? But when Justin Fields came out, everybody thought he was going to be it. When you know what I mean? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with what you wish for.
I know.
And they do have the foundation there. By the way, the Bears will be a playoff team next year, no matter who plays quarterback.
That's what I've been telling these idiots. Hank's not here. He's taking his 17th day in a row off because he's down with his little girlfriend in Dallas.
He's fixing her wall.
Yeah, he's fixing her wall. But I've been telling him that. He's been laughing in my face. They have an actual good foundation built.
Well, they got good tackles. They're both, one's a first year, one's a second year guy. You have all those, you have the weapons. The runners are going to be, both of those guys can run the football. And so you have Kmet's a good tight end. You have the pieces in place.
Yeah.
Defense, they need another pass rusher. They need another edge rusher. But the defense really grew up. They got to keep Johnson. But they have to they will be a playoff team next year no matter who plays quarterback for.
All right. So what are the other coaches?
Okay, so Belichick to Atlanta. I think Harbaugh to the Chargers makes all the sense, in large part because it's the best job. You get the quarterback. You don't have to worry about the quarterback. And so I think that's the best scenario for him. I think he does end up going there. I think Pierce will go back to the Raiders. I think that makes sense from that standpoint. And then Tomlin, if he walks away, I think he's gonna walk away. I think he's done.
Okay.
What about Vrabel?
That's a tough one. I think Mike Vrabel's a good football coach.
Yes.
I really do. And I think he's one of those guys that I think he needs to get with the times a little bit with the offense. I think that's something he's going to have to do with his next job. You can't just line up and hand it to a 240-pound back all the time. You have to be able to, you see what the game is played. Now you got to be able to throw it around. But I still think he's a good coach. Where could he end up? Well,
Pittsburgh is what we're thinking. He would be the perfect Steelers coach.
And you know what? That's a great job for him because he'd end up staying there for 30 years because they don't ever fire their coach.
Yeah. Him and Arthur Smith getting back together, going to Pittsburgh.
And does Dan Quinn go back to Seattle?
I think probably. But you have to, at least, if you're the Seahawks, you have to have a little bit of concern after that playoff game. I know it's one game, and you can't really judge that based, on the body of evidence that he's done in Dallas. But it would make me think, maybe we should interview a couple other guys.
But here's my problem, though, with when we hire these head coaches now. Everybody wants, he's a coordinator, so he's a coordinator of a good offense, so he'll be on a good team, so he'll be a good head coach, or he's a bad coordinator. You need a guy like Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell wasn't a great coordinator. He's a leader of the team, and then he lets his coaches coach. Ben Johnson coaches the offense, Aaron Glenn coaches the defense, and Dan Campbell leads the team.
Yeah,
that's what you need. You don't hire a guy based on his coordinating skills when he's on a good team with good players.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Like even if you look at John Harbaugh, who is a special teams coach, like I like when it's special teams coach. It's like this guy is in the locker room with like the dogs on the team. You know what I mean? Trying to get the most out of the guys that are fringe roster guys. He's a leader of men.
Right. That's what you want. You want a guy who's going to coach his coaches and coach the players, not necessarily be an X's and O's guy who's designing plays and calling the plays.
So top coordinators, because I feel like my Commanders are going to zero in on a coordinator. I don't know if they're going to get Belichick, Vrabel, any of those guys.
I think
Harbaugh
they're
probably not.
going to go for. I think they're going to go for Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn.
Oh, so
Wait,
Ben Johnson, yes, I want Ben. I see him on TV, and I'm like, I want that offense. Give me that. I want that offense in DC. I would want either Ben Johnson or Bobby Slowick from Houston. But Aaron Glenn, like the defense in Detroit, they stunk for most of the year.
Again, though, leader of men. You want the guy that's going to lead. You want him to be able to, grab a guy by the shirt and say, "Get over here. You're going to do it this way, or you're not playing."
We'll just hire Greg Schiano then.
No, come on. Now you're going to an extreme.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, I mean, Pete, ideally, I would like my coach to be able to teach players how to play football well.
Well, yeah, but you can be both. You can be both. I just think sometimes, look, Ben Johnson, from everybody I talk to, Ben, and I don't know Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson, people rave about Ben Johnson all the way across the board, all the way across. Leads, coaches, X's and O's, the whole thing.
That's what I want.
That'd be a great hire. That would be
that.
a great hire for Washington. But, they hired their general manager who has nothing but praise around the league from everybody. Good. Look at some of the 49ers drafts when he's been there. Not the top guys, down the line guys, and see how they've stocked that roster. He's done a nice job with that. I was wrong about your Commanders this year. I thought they'd be good this year, and they weren't. Mm-hmm. But there's still some talent on that team. If somebody comes in there, they can finesse it and make it a better football team and get them going in that division.
Hope you're right, Pete.
Look at this. The arrow pointing up.
We kind of had the best you can make the argument we had the best January in the entire NFC East.
Good point. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beast is back.
Yeah, the optimism is there, and everybody else has issues
Big
going
cat
on.
are going to be in the NFC Championship game.
Out the door with the Giants.
It's going
right?
to be
you have all that mess in New York.
We're fucking winners now, Big Cat.
It's the arrows pointing up. We're surrounded by losers. We got to change that. We gotta get more winners around us, but we're winners officially. All right.
Next year, the Bears will be a playoff team, and the Commanders will be a better football team. Guaranteed.
Oh,
love it.
That's kind of
better football team. We're gonna be playing better football.
I love you. Yeah.
We're gonna be playing good football next year.
Pete, we will see you Super Bowl week and maybe
you
Combine.
Will. I will be there all week.
All right,
Pete. I
get together.
I got a bottle of Mad Dog with your name on it over here.
All right. It's Vegas, so anything goes in Vegas, right?
Oh, you're gonna be. I know exactly what you're gonna have. The tapered jeans and the button down shirt with the the buttons have different patterns. Like you're gonna be a real older. I'm trying to think of what the actual.
It's gonna be like a gray and black vertically striped dress shirt.
Yeah,
that goes
too
down.
long.
It goes down to your mid thighs.
Yes.
And you're gonna have the Jinkos on.
He's gonna have a drink in his hand the whole entire week, just talking to everyone, drunk, kind of like, hey, someone should get Pete home.
Maybe playing at the $5 blackjack table for like
you,
16
you
hours.
You guys are confusing me with Will Brinson.
No, Will Brinson's going to the Sphere and eating mushrooms.
You guys will be right behind them.
Yeah. That's fine. I would love to do that.
Little crunchy, chewy things. Not that I've ever seen those.
Yeah. No, was it Tom Hardy? Ed Hardy?
Ed Hardy shirts.
Ed Hardy shirts? Yeah, that's
I've never been in an Ed Hardy shirt in my life. I can promise you that.
You could pull off a True Religion shirt, too.
Oh, yeah, that's it. The other one, True Religion.
The little stitching on the jeans.
Yeah, that's good for you.
I'll see you at the Spearmint Rhino, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a condom at a strip club guy?
I got married in Vegas, so it's like a lot of memories for me.
Are you a bring a condom to a strip club guy?
No.
I don't even know what that question means.
You got married in Vegas?
Yeah.
Is your wife
MGM.
Is your wife coming this year?
No.
Oh, tell her we say hello though.
Oh, I believe me, I will.
If she wants to go to Taylor Swift, we're available.
See, I don't want to admit this, but I want to sell those Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Probably a couple K. That's crazy.
More than that now. I looked the other day and I remind her, I go,
Sell them.
I mean, you go on a vacation. For what you can get on those, you can go on a vacation somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, just rent the movie.
Yeah.
Get the Eras movie and then go watch that in Hawaii.
Now, would you guys go?
No. Well, if one of my kids wanted to go, my kids love Taylor Swift. So if one of my kids
Right,
were
so
like,
you
I
take
want to
them.
go,
Would
yeah.
you go?
It depends on
Would
whose
you
box
go?
I was going to be in.
In Taylor's box.
If it was Taylor's box, I would go. Yeah, I would come.
Oh my God. But that's the whole thing. You got to actually go to a stadium, get out of the car. I mean,
Well, Pete, you're just describing going to a concert. Yeah.
Also, what Pete's describing is also going to a football game.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
no, but
Literally.
I went and saw Dave Chappelle inside in like a cozy casino, arena. It was nice because you don't have to deal with the getting out and the traffic and all that. And 70,000 people. That's where it's a pain in the ass.
I agree with that. There's nothing worse than like after a big sporting event, then you have to sit in a car like parked in the parking lot for another hour.
Right.
It's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Awful.
Okay. All right, Pete. We can't wait to see you. Thank you as always.
I'll see you. Look forward to it, fellas.
Pete Prisco is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Fixing a wall that you slid into is hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. Hank, did you look about reaching out to them about representation?
Yeah, I did actually.
Seems to me that there should have been a slippery when wet sign on that floor.
Agreed.
And that's why you see it in every lobby when they have the mop out, because they know that if they don't put that sign out, Morgan & Morgan is going to fight for you, and they're going to get you as much money as you can possibly get to make up for your lost time, your pain, and lost wages at work. Morgan & Morgan is going to be able to take care of you with over $20 billion recovered from over 500,000 clients. Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. Submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is so easy. Check them out. They've got over 100 offices nationwide, more than 1,000 lawyers. They fight for the people. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. So if you're injured, give them a call. See what they can do for you. You don't owe them unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/PMT, or you can dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/PMT, or #law, #529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement.
All right, let's wrap up. We got guys on chicks. Henry.
Hey, Dad Cat, Mr. Commentator, Loser Max, and Frosty Henry.
Oh.
I had a guy come over this weekend to watch some of the wild card games. I can hear memes laughing. We made a bet that the loser had to jump into my freezing cold pool.
Huh?
He lost the bet and after running to the shower, slipped and put a hole in my wall. Should I still have him over in the future even though he destroyed my house?
Ooh.
Well, no, because it sounds like you guys don't get along about Dak Prescott. So
I think,
thought
though,
this was already addressed.
I feel like it was, hypothetically, this whatever could have happened here. I feel like you got to look past it. Love wins. And here's the thing. Life is about stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just think about it. Let's say 2 years, 3 years from now, because we've been saying we want to go to someone's wedding, a listener's wedding. We'll maybe go to this listener's wedding. We're sitting at a wedding, and there's a story told, and be like, and remember the time your knee went through my wall?
Yeah.
And we'll all laugh, and it was just like, that was an incredible moment. Like, these two lovebirds,
That's when
I'm happy it worked out.
That's when we knew it was real.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a fun
Believe
story.
in love, PFT.
It's a fun story that you can build around.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
It's a very cute how we met story. So
it's
I don't
kind
know.
of like a rom-com.
You know what?
Right.
But in rom-coms, they usually don't last years and years and years. Like, I don't know if there's another big event coming up soon that maybe you could meet up with, and it'll be a big production,
You're talking about like some super?
Yeah, some like a super event.
Okay.
In a romantic city.
We'll look at the schedule and see if there's a super event coming up.
Okay.
Hey, PMT boys.
Don't give up. That's our that's our bottom line. I know sometimes we joke in this, but this is a dead serious response. Don't give up on love.
Yeah. Also,
to that guy and girl who had a great weekend and got to spend a little extra time because flights were canceled, and there literally are no flights
I didn't
from
read
one
that
major
part of
city
the
to
guys on
another
chicks,
city.
so I don't know what you're talking about.
that girl, the guy sounds like he's really cool and really hot. Probably has a big hammer to fix your wall with.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, PMT
Hank, were
boys.
you concerned when you jumped in the freezing pool that your dick was going to be non-existent, like the Bass Pro Shop guy when you jumped out?
Yeah, I mean that's just you knew that was going to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it did happen.
It happens to everyone. Yeah.
No,
Not me.
not me.
I think it's bigger when it gets cold.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Football cock.
Hey PMT boys.
Fair weather.
I
Take the sleeves off.
Mhm.
I'm not cold.
I'll never put on a condom in the cold.
I slept over at my new boyfriend's apartment. He doesn't have a dishwasher. I noticed in the morning he was doing dishes and only washing the tops of forks and spoons. When I confronted him and told him he needs to wash the whole fork,
What?
he said, why would he do that when only the top part goes in his mouth?
Correct.
I think it's disgusting and he will be bringing my own silverware.
No.
Am I
Oh.
overreacting or is he being practical?
Is this your first boyfriend?
That's an insane overreaction. I've lived in an apartment before without a dishwasher. It sucks. You go paper plates for a lot of stuff. What are you gonna say, Max?
Continue. I have another question after you're done.
Yeah, you just go paper plates, a lot of stuff. But yeah, when you wash the dishes, it's a quick rinse.
Yeah.
It's actually, you know what you do is you do the big soak. You get your whole, you plug your sink, just pour a bunch of soap in there, dump all your dishes in, and then just rinse them off after about an hour.
Yeah, with a piece of silverware, you don't. What are you afraid of? Like the fingerprints on the edge of them? I don't really understand. Like
That's crazy.
the clean part is the part you need to be clean is cleaned right now. It's like with a coffee cup. If you have a coffee cup that you use every day at your house for breakfast, you should probably just reuse that coffee cup every day.
Do you guys wash, when you have to do the dishes, do you wash the big things and in the sink and don't put them in the dishwasher to save room so you can overload the dishwasher? I do all the time.
The big things in
Like a big pot. I'll always hand wash that because I'm like, I want to get everything. I don't like doing double dishes.
unless it's the cast iron, because I feel like the cast iron gets way cleaner if you put it in the dishwasher. But everything else, yeah, I'll clean.
Yeah,
the
there's
sink.
nothing better than doing, you get all the dishes done, you take a nice piss in the sink, boom.
Do
Good
you wash the bottom of the pan?
No.
Okay, I've
What?
gotten yelled at for not washing the entirety.
No,
of
the
pan.
fire burns
Agreed.
off everything.
I've had this and
No,
the
you-
handle. The
the-
handle I've
listen,
also gotten yelled at. For.
Washing dishes is very
How does the
simple.
handle get
if
dirty?
if you
You
see
put your hand on it. It's like
if-
the same thing as a fork.
Yeah, if you see food, that's what you wash.
Correct.
Everything else is clean.
The bottom of the pan sometimes gets grease, though. That's what you gotta be careful about.
No.
Nah,
That's
fuck
seasoning.
No, yeah.
That's
exactly.
you don't
It's seasoning the
seasoning on the bottom of the pan.
Seasoning.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the opposite side of the pan or the
Like,
actual pan
Not
itself?
where like the food is, but
Oh.
like where the burner goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that. There's
Yeah,
no
it's nothing.
seasoning
No.
on that.
No, I know. That was joking.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're overreacting. You're crazy. Guy, run.
My
But
husband,
don't run into a wall. Maybe do, because that's how love stories start.
My husband and I are in a heated debate. What's the average amount of wipes after a shit? I say 3 to 5, and he says 15 to 20. Please help.
15 to 20?
That's a lot.
That's an go to a doctor.
You do have to stay there till it's done.
Well-
Sometimes you'll have ones that are like, how do I
Yeah.
still have poop in my ass?
I did have one of those earlier today, but it wasn't 15 to 20.
No, well, Dude Wipes, shout out Dude Wipes, who sponsors a bunch of stuff at Barstool. They are a lifesaver. I buy them at stores because I'm just like, I've completely converted to a wipes person.
You go wipe, then dry toilet paper?
No, you go dry toilet paper, then finish with the wipes.
You finish with the wipe.
Yeah, that's the only way you can finish.
I've been wipes my whole life.
Yeah,
It's
you
great.
have to
and
finish
sometimes
that way.
you can fold it in half for maximum usage, or even
Wait,
quarters.
are
Wait, you
Double
fold it,
wipe?
then you
yeah,
you
but,
wipe, and then you
yeah,
Oh, no.
but that
Oh,
that
gee.
side's clean.
Oh, no, baby. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's clean.
I don't know. But then
Saves
where's
the wipes.
But then where's your hand touching?
Not the poop
where does the poop where does the poop go?
inside.
You make
And
a
then
you make a
and then
poop sandwich
and then
with a
you
wipe.
fold it over.
Yeah.
That feels like a dangerous move. You're definitely getting poop on your hands.
And on your butt.
No.
Or you're wiping
pooping
more
your butt.
poop. Yeah, you're smearing poop. You're painting your butt with poop.
No, it's saving the environment.
I don't know about that.
He is saving the environment.
Yeah.
And I'm washing my hands for a long time after.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wash your offhand? I don't wash my offhand.
Yeah.
How do you wash
Sometimes
one
I won't-
hand?
Just wash
Sometimes I
one
won't
hand.
wash my offhand.
That I need to think like how.
Squirt and then like this.
No, I.
You're already doing it. Why wouldn't you just do both hands?
Sometimes I don't feel like washing my offhand.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I mean, there's a hand that just doesn't get involved.
Well,
My left hand does not get involved whatsoever in my bathroom.
Mine does.
It doesn't.
I think we got different methods.
What do you mean?
You go back?
Yeah.
I go front, and then I got to move them.
Front?
Yeah.
I mix it up.
Yeah, a lot of people.
You're wiping your balls?
It's like 50-50. No, I don't wipe my balls.
No,
But
you
you got to
go-
move. You got to move the balls.
Yeah, no, it's not often. I'll usually wash both hands, but sometimes I don't feel like washing my offhand.
Are you a stander or a sitter?
Sitter. Have to be.
Can't be a standard.
Everyone who's a stander just walks around with poop in
Yeah,
their
you
butt.
can't be a
That's just a
stander.
fact.
You're a child.
Those are people that just they walk around with poop in their butt. I also am now realizing I'll do a lot more offhand washing when I'm wiping my kid's butt. Because then it's like I'm not involved at all. I just come in and I'm the closer. I just get yelled at from
After
across the
Sandman.
room being like, I'm ready to be wiped. Like, all right, here we go. Running from the bullpen. Let's wipe it up.
Let's end with that.
Okay.
15 to 20 is that's a lot of wipes.
That's a lot, but again,
your average.
I don't think that's a good average, but you have to be we all have to admit there are times where it's like if you actually went all the way till there was literally nothing, I'd still be in the shitter. There's sometimes it gets messy in there.
I think the only thing that
Sometimes you
makes
just gotta hop in the shower.
I think the only thing that makes sense for the 15 to 20 is if you're taking like 4 out at one time and then going back there.
Oh, I do that.
You
I
know
do
what
the
I'm
mega
saying?
wipe.
Like that makes sense to me because that like it for some reason that feels better. So if you're only doing like 4 rounds of that, then I could see how it could get to 15 to 20.
The mega wipe.
The
or
mega
if
If
wipe.
it's messy
Yeah.
and you have a stomach ache and
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah.
times when it gets.
But sometimes the poops that are the messiest, you don't see them coming. You're like,
No.
you're like that felt clean,
Right.
And then what the fuck is happening?
Right.
the best feelings when you don't have anything to clean up.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good show, boys. Good show. We got a good show coming Friday too. So get excited. All right, numbers.
40.
8.
18.
71.
3.
99 Pug.
There you go, Pug. Oh, Pug had a nice tweet. He's an Eagles fan. Fire everyone, Pug.
Yeah.
Yep.
20.
Fire everyone, Pug.
20.
Where's Shane? What's his number?
He's normally 10. Or no,
He's 10.
Oh, he's not here.
He's not here. Yeah, he's not here. He already won too. So it's like
11. 11.
So close, bud.
All right, see everyone Friday.
Love you guys.